welcome to Liberal 12th Man Show. I'm the Liberal 12th Man, just as much as you are, and I am joined by Lee and the Irishman. How you doing, Lee?
Good, mate, good.
Good. Irishman, how are you?
Yeah, very well.
Very well. I guess a little bit better than those that unfortunately had to watch England versus Denmark, right? It was Denmark or...
Yeah. Oh, well, I watched it all for myself. Yeah, because I can't imagine what it was like as an actual England fan watching it. But
as an English fan, yeah, certainly.
I mean, like the Danes enjoyed it as a match. The Danish fans probably felt a bit more like a win for them, but they fairly kind of dominated it. You know, England, they got that one bit of a break. They got their goal, but they looked bloody. Yeah, they looked very, very ordinary and out of ideas for the rest of the match. So probably pretty worrying for most English fans.
Denmark are one of those resolute teams that don't give a lot away. They're not that exciting a team like going forward, Denmark, but they are quite resolute and determined. So I don't think it was ever going to be a classic, that game. I'm not sure we've ever had a good game against Denmark. Every time we remember playing them, we perform poorly.
England are always playing Denmark.
Yeah.
Every second qualifier or every second tournament, England always play Denmark.
I remember Sweden bounced us out the Euros in '92.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, Thomas Brolin and Martin Darlene up front. Brolin was quite amusingly chubby, but he was a good player. But you looked at him and he was quite a chubster. Was Thomas Brolin, like, you know what I mean? He had these fat, like, baby cheeks and that. But he was a good player, and so was Martin Darlene. And they swallowed rubbish at that Euro.
All those countries, though.
I used to really care about England in them days because I was younger, but I don't anymore because I'm older and my time is more on Liverpool when I'm doing football, like, you know what I mean? I don't care as much as I once did about the national side, I'm sad to say. And it's just an age thing because I did massively years ago. Remember I told you I smashed me watch when Maradona handballed it when I was a kid. And I took me watch off and threw it at the wall and it shattered into a million pieces. And I went, I had this capricious teenage fit.
Well, I reckon that England team back then had
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Brian.
No. I was just going to say, I reckon that England team back then had a lot more, whatever you say about quality. But this England team, the only thing I was thinking about it, because everyone was kind of saying, oh, what are they trying to do? You know, how are they trying to play? I bet Southgate doesn't even know. So again, I couldn't break it down tactically. They just looked really flat and poor. But to me, the only thing I would say, this England team has no personality. It doesn't they don't look like a really, like they have they're a this or they're a that. You know, they're not aggressive. They're not silky. You know, they're not what they just look like. All these guys that are kind of overcoached, all kind of stand there looking like they know how to look and how to point and what to shout and where to stand, but they don't have any real individuals like just kind of saying, no, this is what makes this team what it is. I think it might sound a bit weird to play. Maybe they have too many good players. If they had fewer good players and just one or two more focal points, that they might play through them more, which I think works better in international football. But they look like training cones out there. You know, they're all like, calm down. Everyone's always telling each other to calm down and, pointing at their heads and all that. Like the Irish commentators are like, lads, this isn't the time for calm. Like, you need to go and win this game. Like, all the pointing and telling everybody to be calm. There was 2 minutes to go. Like, you need to get in the box. It's like, now is the time. I think the Irish guy said, look, now is the time for a bit of bonkers, a bit of chaos. Try and make something happen. They're all like, they're all pointing. You go stand there. You stand there. It's like, no, go and make something happen. And they didn't have something that could kind of go and just break a game. They're really kind of flat looking.
Now you bang on the money. What you say about them not being able to, imprint themselves on a game, take a game by the scruff of the neck in midfield. England is just not able to do that with this current side. We can play, but we don't dominate games and dominate teams ever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We can win games,
Yeah.
sure. We can win games, like, and we have done. But as for like, really asserting themselves, like, and gripping hold of a game, you don't see it really much with England.
But as you saw, 12 from if you were watching it, Trent off after 56 minutes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Kind of.
I think that it's the jury is being put out on like this midfield experiment, I guess you'd say.
Well, Gallagher comes in, does nothing.
No offense to those that support England. I am all about getting this out of your system. Everyone getting this out of their system so that we can just go back to allowing Trent play the role and position that we know he excels in.
Yeah.
Like rather than trying to figure it out.
It is welcome that he's playing in midfield. I'm glad he's playing rather than not playing at all and just not getting a shout. Yeah. I'm glad he is playing because it will help him. It'll help his game. This experiment, if it is just an experiment with him being in midfield, it will help him when he goes back to right back, I'm sure, because of the type of right back he is.
Mm-hmm.
It'll improve him, I think. I hope so. Anyway, that's what I'm wishing for. Like,
yeah. Big up to everyone. Big up to everyone in the chat. Always a pleasure to be in your company. I know that some are kind of happy with the result. Some are not so much happy with the result from the Euros today. Also, we have if you guys are if it is getting you down a little bit, realize it is a late start for you. So I don't know if you'll be up for it because I'm trying to think of what time that is. It's an 8 o'clock start here in America for the game, for the Argentina game. So I don't know what time that is.
Copa here.
Yeah, it'll be like a very, very late start. I know that.
Like 3-4 a.m.
Yeah.
It'll be something like 3-4 a.m.
Yeah, it's a late.
What game is that for? What game is that for?
So Argentina will be facing off against the Bajan Reds, Canada. I was Canada. Canada. I was going to say Canadian. That's why, but Canada.
No, it's saying here it's at 1 a.m.
1 a.m.
So,
okay.
Yeah, so 8 p.m. in your
on the East Coast. I said the East Coast time.
Yeah. Oh, in the East Coast. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's 5 hours.
Yeah,
5 hours. So 1 a.m. It's not great, but it'll be kind of 3 a.m. by the time it's over.
By the time it's over, right?
Yeah, so it is a bit of a slog, but
yeah. Oh Canada, and you can drop a Canada, eh? Canada, eh?
You might get yourself a whole different slice of viewerships.
Yeah. It's good. It's the initial kickoff game for the tournament. Look, I have been dealing with some online back and forth, I get that the European theater has some amazing clubs and some amazing teams. But what I don't sometimes get is when people from that region don't give proper appreciation for South American clubs. Like South American region is an incredible region for football, and like to discount it as just being like, oh well, they don't have the levels of Europe is silly. I mean, it's obvious, how many World Cup winners have come here. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I've always been interested in it, but as I say, because I'm older now, and I'm the age I am, I have less interest in non-Liverpool football unless it's directly linked to us. But years ago, I used to, I'd keep in touch with as well as you could in pre-internet days. It was a task years ago to keep up with. You did get some leagues on telly, and you would see some South American footy on telly. but you had to go out of your way years ago, and that was part of the fun, I suppose. It was just a different world, media-wise. You know what I mean? Before the internet.
Yeah. No, it was one of the content creator channels. Not one that we're like heavily affiliated with or really communicate with too often. But yeah, I made a mention about, I think it wasn't even about Nunez. I think it was about Diaz, about how like the last Copa America he was the Golden Boot winner because they were trying to say he just doesn't know how to score or something along those lines. And I was like, well, I mean, he just had a hat trick recently. He just like he scores when he's playing a different role, albeit with his national team. And I understand their national is a little bit more open play and everything else and the such and the likes. But like I was trying to explain, I'm like, there's a lot of he gets really involved and he's able to score, blah blah blah. And they're like, oh, but it's against South American competition. It's not the level of Europe. And I was just like, what the heck are we talking about? I'm like, like,
there's loads of rubbish teams in European football.
Yeah, even Peru, Chile, Ecuador, obviously, Colombia, Argentina, Brazil. Those are more of the notable names. But I mean, like, there's only so many countries in that region, but yet pretty much all of the countries in that region are formidable countries. And that's why I was kind of like taken aback by the comment.
Yeah. It's like we were saying the other day about the Central American teams all being hard to play. When you draw them in the World Cup in your group, one of them Central American teams, mate, it's hard. We've always against them sides, whether it's Honduras,
Guatemala,
take your pick. We've always struggled against them teams. We played one in 2018 when we got to the semi against Croatia and lost out. We played a Central American team. I can't remember which one it was though, and they were a bloody nightmare to get past. I think we won 2-1 with like an extra time. Extended time. What's the bloody word for it? Extra time goal, like not injury time, extra time. We had some shit like I think. Can't remember who it was though. And they were tough.
Probably Honduras.
Yeah, really tough.
Honduras was good too. El Salvador was good. Has been good in international competitions.
They're talking about countries, not like club sites. Is it?
Yeah. They're talking about international play. Yeah.
It's look, like Lee said, I don't know where you went and found it. Fair play to you. Like even until recently, even at the moment, without having like a full package, full coverage, Sky type thing, it's impossible to watch South American football, like league stuff. The All Copa game and stuff like that. So the only time you ever see these people is when you might see Club World Cup, or they might show Copa Libertadores final, or then when you see the international sides. So I'd love to be able to watch more South American football, but again, the times of it and stuff is crazy. But it
makes it hard. That makes it difficult to say.
Over if you just look pretty much over the last, just take a 30-year snapshot. Okay, they only have the Euros. So if you just look at World Cups and look at who's more successful, South America, Europe, it's just a crazy thing. Yeah, like you're talking about, probably if you're going to go out and pick like a best 11 in the world, half the time, half of them be South American players. So for the likes of Diaz to go off and like shine in these competitions, it is different, of course, but that is very, I wouldn't, I'd lose my patience with somebody who was kind of trying to talk it's South American football isn't as good as European football. It's just look at the trophy list for a start.
No, just look at the World Cup list. Look at the winners of the World Cup.
You look at the World Cup.
It's pretty much almost like 50-50 almost, pretty much, if not 60-40 maybe.
Uruguay win the initial 2 World Cups, both of them.
Yeah,
they did.
They have
They
three.
did.
They have
But
3
there
World
weren't.
Cups. I believe.
There was only like about 4 teams in the first one, and
Yeah,
there's
England
none of
wouldn't
the.
know, would we? We were annoyed.
Well,
that
most of the
FIFA
European
jumped on
teams.
and had
Yeah,
the
most of the European
temerities.
team. Yeah, most of the European teams didn't consider it to be an actual. It was the first time it was being played. It was so but most of the European teams didn't think it was a thing. Like
Yeah.
you've just invented this thing called a World Cup, and it took about a month. Well, it took about 3 weeks to get from England to South America by steamship, which is how all these would have to do it. So it ended
Yeah.
up
It's
being like.
steamship.
Yeah.
I'm
It
sorry, that
was,
sounds funny.
it was,
Well,
wasn't
that's
it?
how they
Yeah.
would have traveled. That's how they
Yeah.
would have traveled.
Oh, I
back then.
know, I get
Steamers
it. I
and
know.
all. Yeah, but yeah.
I've seen
that's-
history books. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I just-
That's what
yeah,
happened.
yeah.
The next time, they won it again, and then I think went to Italy, and Italy kind of bought it. Mussolini kind of paid for that one. But yeah, Uruguay have more than England. Like the English can't talk about international football.
Mhm.
They can't. English people cannot talk about international football when it comes to like trying to put down. Like obviously they can talk about it. If it comes to put down other countries and stuff, they won one World Cup, which was a home World Cup. They've never won anything away. They've never gone like the South American teams have gone to different continents and won World Cups, but they've never been able to like get past the semis after that. It's very difficult to hear English football fans putting down other countries' achievements and then they
We
go
were
out and they put in
definitely
performances like that.
That's silly.
unlucky.
It's silly. Yeah.
England were unlucky in Mexico '86, away in Mexico. Argentina, I mean, let's have it right. They cheated us out the tournament and then went on to win it against West Germany. But I would have fancied us to beat that West Germany side if we'd have went through and say played them in the final.
The only thing quickly, Lee, I'll say to that is because everybody's referring to the hand of God goal. I'd say to any England fan that firmly believes that and thinks they're a football fan, get a copy of that game, go back and watch it from start to finish, and come back afterwards and tell me in today's football and even in that day's football, how many England players would have been sent off just for fouls on Maradona? Because I'll tell you, it's about 5.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Want to talk about cheating and rules?
He was
assaulted. He was kicked all over that
Whoever the
pitch. He was
opposition was, they
broken.
were all over Maradona. That was
but you're talking about that England game. Yeah, you're talking about that England game. You're talking about fairness and about cheating. Yeah, he cheated, but he was absolutely assaulted time and time again in that game.
Do you know
no England fan ever talks about that.
The bit that hurt
he was. I mean, it was similar. Didn't Henri cheat as well in one of like one of his international?
We were talking about this the other night. The handball against Ireland, which created basically Ireland suing FIFA, and because we sued them, they fast-tracked VAR and this whole computer technology, because he handled the ball on the line and passed it with his hand, and they scored and won a playoff to go to the World Cup, which knocked Ireland out. And because of that, basically, we have VAR. So, they've all done it.
Argentina that time, John Barnes was brought on as a substitute when he still played for Watford in 1986, and he instantly created a brilliant goal for Lineker with a great little running cross, one of his lovely left-wing crosses, and then he did it again identically, and Lineker was right under the fucking bar, and for somehow the Argentina, you've got to take your hat off to the Argentina defender. He got something in, a toe, a head or something, and just took it away from Lineker, because Lineker was like virtually on the line about to go and make it 2-2. I don't know how the defender got it away, but that was the bit that stung after Maradona's handball, to see Johnny Barnes doing his do and Lineker right in line to get the benefits from it. We were nearly 2-2 there. I think, which defender was it? He was a good Argentinian defender, which they always normally are. Their centre-half's a little fella. He was a little fella, little centre-half.
I think the best team won in the end of the day anyway.
Yeah, there you go. All right, let's get this game started. Let's get into this. Let's hop into the DeLorean here and get this game started. No spoilers. I know Norm gave a little bit of a spoiler, but it's all good. I didn't say don't give spoilers early. Yeah, I know some of you guys have. Like Norm said himself, he was actually at this game, which is not much. Yeah, of course he was, because I mean he's been at the majority of the games that we probably end up watching. And I know that Lee said that he remembers this game very well, as well as a fun game. I picked this game primarily because I put this in the dial of the DeLorean, because we will be facing this team as our first game, and it'll be a 12:30 kickoff. I think these 12:30 kickoffs are it's almost to the point where it's like, I think that they just do it just to spite us. I think nowadays with these 12:30 kickoffs, they figured they would just rip the Band-Aid off with the first game against us. So it is what it is. But yes, this is May 11th, 2002 is towards the end of the season here. We're firmly in the top 4 here, and it was definitely a beautiful, lovely, sunshiny day in Liverpool. So let's enjoy it. You guys down? I'm gonna start it off right now then. So also, I don't have any sound going for the very beginning, because they have music playing. But this is the lineups. This is the starting lineups. Heskey and Owen up front. It's kind of cool too when they started playing, with this 4-4-2. But with Risa in the midfields, pretty much, in essence.
I love seeing Nabil Xavier, because he's done well for us. He was an excellent signing from Everton, Nabil Xavier.
Yeah. We should also, what's funny about this game too is they mention it in there, is that they talk about this is like one of Anelka's last opportunities to prove. What?
Oh, sorry. That's a good team, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Who's that left back? Sorry, I missed that.
Risa.
Yeah. No.
Risa's playing left wing.
Yeah, he's playing
left wing.
Carragher then it'll be Carragher.
Oh, was it Carragher? Okay. Marcus and Darren Bent. I knew that. I knew there was 2 of them there at the time. Marcus and Darren Bent. That's what I meant. That's what I said when Marcus.
There's Marcus Stewart on the bench.
He's on the bench.
Matty
Holland. She used to play for Ireland. Oh, the inimitable Titus Bramble.
I'm sorry, it's kind of funny. It sounded like you said Martha Stewart, but anyway.
Oh, Martha Stewart, yeah.
I don't think that she's on the bench, but it's all good.
She might have made a prison 11. Bramble at right back. She might have made a prison 11.
Yeah, maybe. Big up, Daz. Big up, Bonkers. Good to see you guys joining us today.
A lot of nobodies in that team, really.
Yeah, I like the way Carragher would go round before kickoff, talking to people, going, "Come on, let's have these." Carragher was brilliant for that. You know what I mean? He was great at talking the other players up and that, and he was very loud. You could hear Carragher a mile away. I could hear Carragher from here when he was playing at Anfield. Hear him shouting from here. You know what I mean? Miles away from Anfield. But I could hear him shouting from here, mate. His voice was that loud.
There's Ben. Bent up front, I guess you could say, right?
Well, it's a sun-kissed Anfield.
Yeah, it was. It really was. And they were rocking. They were loud and very, very boisterous. They're definitely in full throat with that game. But here we are, and we can begin this now.
It's a Premiership football for some time. A win here, however surprising, might, however, just open the door to them staying at the top table. Certainly George Burley hoped so.
Yeah, I remember him as a player, Burley. Well, old enough to remember
Yeah.
his bloody player. And the sticker, he was in my sticker album when I was a little boy, like when you bought the sticker albums. And you'd have to get every player of every team.
He played for them, didn't he?
I can't remember who he played for. He played for a couple of different ones, Burley. Scotland international, like.
Yeah, I knew he was Scottish. Definitely a bit of a journeyman. But I thought, well, sure, yeah. I'm just trying to remember, because you know when you get those lads and you remember him in a sticker book, you always kind of remember him in one particular kit. And I always remember him in blue, like for a blue.
See, I wasn't
team,
alone too, by the way.
What?
Bernie thought you said Martha Stewart too. But Norman's saying, yeah, Marcus Stewart had a good left foot. Really good left.
I think we can safely say
that.
Yeah,
he did. Good left foot, Marcus Stewart. Like, not a bad finisher at all, Marcus Stewart.
He scored a lot of goals for them. He was one of those guys that had a really high scoring season.
He wasn't bad. Holland, the midfielder, Matty Holland, he was quite skillful.
No, he played for Ireland.
Yeah,
he played for Ireland at the World Cup. Yeah, he was
brilliant, but he was decent.
Okay. Yeah, he was okay. He was kind of like
I think this is a vital area of the game, actually.
I don't like a kind of. He wasn't defensive. He wasn't offensive. He was kind of just right in the middle, but not brilliant at either of them. But one of those players never let you down and work really hard and all the rest of it. He did, but he always got a game for Ireland in the midfield because it's just solid and could pass the ball, I suppose.
Yeah.
Let in just 30 goals in the league this season at the start of this match. That was 3 fewer than the.
Yeah, Abel Xavier was a great signing from Everton to replace Babel because Babel was finished with his injury, which was a pain in the arse. But I was amazed to replace him with Xavier. Xavier was excellent for a couple of seasons, very, very good. Scored a few goals, dangerous going forward, good at the back. He was good at his defensive duties. Abel Xavier, he's a dogged player. I liked him a lot.
Like a lunatic. Looked like an extra from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah. He had a really distinctive really distinctive look with the hair.
Arr, matey.
Yeah, you could just imagine him. Like, he's standing out on a pitch, you're not missing him.
Yeah, that's very true.
He was one of those players that when he scored, he went off his head. He was dead. When he scored, he'd go
Cisse was like that, though, too.
Yeah, Cisse had the bleach blonde. Bleach blonde look.
Yeah. He looked like Wesley Snipes in Demolition Man.
Yeah, like Xavier also went with the kind of the really squared off flat top, which made it look more kind of more like a brick.
Brian, did you think Houllier changed that? Obviously, he must changed a bit, but after his heart attack, when he come back out, he changed as a manager. Do you think it is just the way he was and the way he?
I think he lost his. I think he lost his edge, which is kind of he lost that extra bit of drive or whatever, maybe that ability to be kind of ruthless. Yeah, like when you've had a near-death experience, or like I'm not speaking from near-death experience, but I mean people have said that if you do, it kind of you get this appreciation of the kind of the little things in life or whatever. So you go. I think he stopped like being a really hard taskmaster and being ruthless in the way that you need to be as a manager, and he just saw them all as his kids. And he wanted everyone to have a nice, happy time, and you lose your edge on it. But yeah, like
people said he was like more paranoid when he come back, about like things going on around him, like in that at the club. That he seemed to be a more paranoid man after he come back, like. So he was a bit edgy.
Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, because you don't know. Again, everyone has their own. The Hell's Angels have arrived.
Yeah. something like that can affect and do anything to a person's mind,
Yeah,
can't it?
you'll have the kind of the things that like everyone will get like the same kind of effect from it, but everyone will also get like 9 other different effects, if you know what I mean. Like the paranoia thing. But yeah, that is interesting. That's not
Got said
something
a
to be.
lot around Anfield. When I say around
Right.
Anfield, I mean here in the city, in Liverpool.
Yeah.
Said a lot at the time that like he wasn't the same man when he come back. People at the club were saying this, he'd changed, and obviously he changed, but that he was like, yeah, less trusting of those around him when he came back.
That's interesting.
We were crap in that last Houllier season, mate. 3-4. 3-4 was absolute crap. That was a bad season, that, mate.
Well, he didn't go in a nice way, you know. It didn't. If he left out, you know, left after the treble or whatever.
Yeah, his last trophy was the season after this one, 2002, 2003. We got the League Cup against Man United. Remember when Gerrard's long shot got deflected off Beckham's toe a bit and went over Bartes, I think it was. Oh no, it might have been a different goalie by that point for United, but that was the last thing he won the League Cup on if this was United.
Possibly looking at a summer of
interesting. I have some trivia. I'll ask some trivia here and there throughout the entire broadcast here.
Oh yeah, Barney said
so
that before. She was at that the game where Houllier had his heart attack.
Oh really? Wow.
Yeah.
I just saw that. Yeah, I see your comment here. She was at that game. Yeah.
Bizarre, like a very. I mean, we expect to see it every now and again, you know, with a fan or something. Yeah, it happens with fans, you know. And but then we see like Ericsson playing today, 3 years after what we all watched happen there, you know. Which again, but yeah, to see the manager or to hear, obviously it wasn't, people didn't see it, but to hear that it was happening. You know, where's Houllier? Why, you know, probably takes about 2 minutes to get around the ground. Everyone knows.
Good idea.
That's the great thing about Michael Owen. When any midfield player gets time and space,
I used to like the way Houllier talked to himself as he was sitting there, always nattering. A lot of the time he'd do it into his hands, he'd have his hands and he'd be going.
Yeah, I think because he knew. Yeah. He probably knew that there was cameras on him.
Phil Thompson beside him going absolutely mental.
That is so demolition.
Just love. Yeah, look at him, man. It's like
even did the beard.
Man, you could set your, you know, what your, you know, your right angle by that. You know, it's perfect on top of it. Like, oof, looking.
Excellent delivery here from Martin Roycer.
That was a really good delivery.
Just can't get it down. I think it was Jamie Carragher picking him up. Was second best there.
Get a proper head on it. There's an interesting little trivia question for you guys. So true or false, and then you have to name. And if it is true, then you'll have to name the country. Okay, pretty easy. True or false? The first team ever fielded by Liverpool had consisted of just one country, like one country's players. And if that's true, what country was it?
Got the answer?
Yeah.
Is that like at everybody or?
You can anyone can answer that.
Well, yeah, what Lee said.
Yeah.
I'm sure if it had gone across the front of Marshall,
Scotland was the entire team was made of Scottish players. Yep.
Well, Liverpool, before the potato famine and before a large influx of Welsh as well, was the Scots were the main non-English community. There was the most there was the most of before the Irish and Welsh. Like now, there's much more Irish and Welsh surnames easily than there is Scottish ones in Liverpool. But there's some Scottish. My family, McDonald's was a name. I know that.
Yeah.
Donald was his name on my mum's side.
What was the nickname? What was the nickname of the team?
Well, that would
Max,
a lot.
the team at Max, they were all Max, weren't they? They were all called
Yeah,
Max.
there you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Team of the Max.
Yeah.
It should
Well,
have
it would have
Return of the
been
Max. That would have
as
been
well.
better.
Like there would have been there would have been Scottish, obviously, like you're saying, but a lot of it would have been to do with the fact that
Jamie Carragher.
the Scottish league, the Scottish game was a lot more advanced at that stage than the English game, and the Scottish had gone professional. You know, it was the Scottish players had gone professional way before the English had, and it was the Scottish who invented the kind of the passing type of the game. The English players were playing a game where everyone just dribbled all the time with the ball. Whoever was in possession would run with the ball. The Scottish game developed that kind of passing game, and they became pro. So they were kind of the better. They were much more advanced in a football sense, and that's why a lot of them were being brought in, because they were being brought in as ringers, Scottish players, because the Scottish players were the best players, basically, at the time. It was like bringing in a load of Brazilians, so that's, a lot of it would have been down to that.
Yeah, early on, lots of then Irish players came in as well, like the best Irish players came in.
They certainly did have players like that.
But it was like the Scots were at the forefront of football play. Really, they'd never seen a passing game. The English had never seen a passing game. They didn't understand the idea of passing a ball to, like, getting the ball and passing it to another player immediately. When they got the ball, if you got the ball, you immediately ran with the ball and tried to beat people until you lost the ball. Whereas the Scottish game was to get the ball, pass it to another player, run and receive it. And the English were like, what kind of game is this? What are you playing? Like, it was like a different sport to them. And it took over. And but the Scots were like the Brazilians compared to the Ecuadorians or something.
Yeah, it's another example of a country that's small population-wise, but has had lots of good players and influence and everything. Like, you know what I mean? Like Holland has.
Oh, there you go. There's that left boot. There's that left boot. Put your top back on, you'll burn, lad. You're Norwegian. Put your top back on, you'll burn. You've got about 2 seconds, mate.
What a fantastic goal. Patient football once again. As the ball's fed in here from
he did look good with his top off.
Straight away, turn, bang. Absolutely.
Great left
Oh,
foot.
it's under your man's leg as well. Look, under his leg.
Yeah.
There you go, Jared. Calm down now. Calm down.
Yeah. What a start. What a start.
I never understand why they booked them for taking their shirts off. It gets on my nerves, that. Why? When
And he even got to swing it around his head. He was swinging it around his head while doing a knee slide. That's iconic. You should get an extra point for being able to swing it around your head while doing a knee slide. Not
Is it
good.
because it's rude or something? And it's like
No,
When did they start? I'm trying to remember when they started giving yellow cards for taking off your top.
it's not quite 10 years ago, but it wouldn't be that far off. It's probably 6, 7 maybe. But it's about it's that it will. It's like everything. It's total nonsense. It's that it will incite the crowd.
Yeah.
And it might cause people to rush forward.
Chest hair? Why would that incite anybody?
No, it's not. But not incite them to violence. It might incite people to rush forward in a large crowd. If you know what I mean? They don't want people rushing forward in large crowds. So these are these things, that all those like hyper safety measures that came in that were just too extreme, or some of like the safe standing is coming in. Like these things were brought in, like in some of the more lax security stadiums where you'd have a guy swinging his top around, like 4,000 people rushing towards the front. It's not going to happen in an English game, but I mean, who doesn't want to see that? A lad knee sliding, swinging his top around over his head after doing that. Like, that's football. Like nowadays, we'd have a VAR check. Nowadays, it'd be a yellow card for the top off and then a VAR check.
I think that some of the goals, some of the goal celebrations have been tempered by the fact that you know that there's going to be a check. You know,
Sentimentality on Gerrard
You've
Piqué.
got to bring
Tempered.
yellows in more for
I would
cheating.
go so far. I'd go so far as to say
More
neutered.
bearable.
They haven't been tempered. They've been neutered, completely neutered.
Okay.
The lads aren't even celebrating now. Some guys aren't even bothering celebrating. They're just kind of standing there and looking.
Also,
they're not-
other forms of cheating, like hassling the ref, can be a yellow card immediately. Like, so like when the ref doesn't give a pen and you hassle him, he just goes, "Nah, mate,
Hang
the
on.
blade decision is a yellow. Shut up." So to the
Look
City
at Gary
players,
Mack there.
shut up.
See,
Yeah, it
see
was.
Gary
It
Mack.
was.
Did you see Gary Mack, Yoga Master?
Yeah, Yoga Master. You gotta be.
Unbelievable. He was about 38 when he was doing that, man. He was like, that's how you,
I was about to
that's how
say
you
he
stay in the
looked.
game
He
at
looks
38.
old as.
Yeah, that's how you stay in the game at 38, being able to do that.
Exactly, man. He is looking pretty senior right there.
I think he was 35 when he bought
Yeah.
him.
I'm
Lee will
surprised.
tell you, I think he was,
Mate. He was every inch a Liverpool player, Gary McAllister.
but wasn't he 35 when we bought him? Or when we signed him on a free, I think he was 35, wasn't he?
35.
I
Jeez,
think he was 36. I think he was already
36.
Yeah.
Imagine that today. Like we went,
I
people
know, I know.
pushed the boat out for
Imagine
Endo.
if,
He was
like,
30.
Yeah, I mean, like Arnie's probably got only so much pull, but I mean, like, imagine if Klopp went and said, "You know what? I got my eye on this 36-year-old."
Modric,
You know,
this kid in
I think
Madrid. Yeah,
we should bring in.
He was
yeah.
absolutely.
Liverpool are bringing in a midfielder from Madrid. Oh no, why? We've got Tchouameni. You got no. It's Luka Modric on a free transfer.
Yeah,
And then
I
we
would
go and
still
win the
do
European
that.
Cup with him.
I would
Brilliant.
do that. Luka Modric is.
Do you know who I
Modric when he was here at Tottenham.
forget Luka Modric? I'd be going up to Tony Kroos's house and breaking him out of retirement. Did you see him the other day? He's still world class.
Yeah,
Tony Kroos can still do it at the highest level. He's retiring too early. He's still got 2 years left in him. World class.
It makes a difference though when you're making. I mean, what was he making? He's making well over 300,000 or something like that, right? If not 40,000.
Oh, I think he had to be talked out of coming back. Talked into coming back for this Euros. He obviously is just a man of, he's made up his mind on his time.
Yeah.
But you'd love him to still have the love for the game to want to, like, because he is that's old school, like bringing in a Tony Kroos at 34 on a 2-year deal on a free transfer. I used to love those kind of transfers, like the Gary McAllister type things. I used to love those kind of transfers.
Yeah.
Just bringing in pure quality and just playing him 18 times a season. Not asking him to run the show every game, but
Interesting. There's 2 interesting comments here from Norman Burney, actually. Go ahead, Lee. I'll bring up the comments after your statement.
I think Kolo Touré was 34 when we bought him. He was very late in his career, wasn't he, Kolo?
He wasn't far off it, man. He wasn't far off it at all.
His partnership with Sol Campbell was excellent. When Arsenal were the Invincibles, Kolo Touré and Sol Campbell were bloody solid that season. Really solid.
Yeah. Oh, he was great. Kolo was a great character as much as anything else.
Yeah, like Kolo. Got up the bottom, like.
Sure, Brendan, I think the reason Brendan took him to Celtic with him as his coach, and then he got the Reading job, didn't he? He got the Wigan job or the Reading job. I always get them confused. He lasted about 6. I think he lasted 6 or 7 games. He got sacked.
That was good.
Yeah, it wasn't.
That was a good save. Good save. That was a good save.
On the line. Well held.
On the line. Good header. Low. Difficult.
Amazing to think that he actually got a move to Real Madrid on a free when he left.
Why do you say that?
Just he never see, like, it was just reliable. I know, it's just one of those real left field ones.
Liverpool this season.
Oh, okay.
Despite the initial controversy over the departure of Sander Westerveld, who did so much in Liverpool.
I loved.
I was going to bring up these comments here.
I was happy when we got Pepe Reina, but I did love Dirty Dugan boy. We did have
Yeah.
Reina, didn't we? It was Reina who placed Dirty.
Yeah, well, he bloody won us the European Cup. Like.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I mean, like, as much as Stevie did, as much as
He
Xavi
was a
did
big
with
part of that too.
equalizer.
Yeah.
I mean, this
Very
guy
big part of
stops.
that.
Those
Yeah,
stops
the
from
Yeah.
Shevchenko are unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Shot. Oh,
Ridiculous.
Kevin Phillips, who else has scored it after 17
Here's a comment from Bernie, then we're going to Norm's comment in a second. She says Stevie G signed his flag to McAllister's mask because he said he taught him so much.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
Stevie G. That's why Stevie too. That's
He
why he was
brought
with
him
Stevie
to-
too.
he brought him
with
to
him
Villa.
in the management role. Yeah.
Yeah, he had him as a coach at Villa, I think. Oh, Gerrard absolutely worshipped McAllister. Loved him.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, 36, getting signed at 36, you know, and like that's and especially at this stage of the game where, you know, it was getting to the point where a lot of young talent was getting involved. This game was getting quicker and faster.
More physical.
And yeah, he
More
was still able to, you know, really contribute and make a difference.
That midfield.
Anytime you can do that, James Milner. It's like almost like a James Milner concept. You know, you want to like connect yourself and understand how these guys have been able to do what they've been able to do.
Yeah, and he had all those kind of extra. He had all those like little bit of extra things that Gerrard could do. Like he could score long range screamers. He could score absolutely beautiful free kicks. He had that real extra bit of, you know, magic about him. Like he was like everything you want in a midfielder. But Gerrard could also see this guy can score a free kick from 35 yards top corner. This guy can ping balls 50 yards. He has right. So I think that's what Gerrard saw that in himself. He was like, this guy can do what I want. Like we're the same player basically. And you could tell straight away. Just probably, if you probably look back and say one of his favorite ever teammates, I'd say obviously he would go with Louis and Fernando and Xavi. But I reckon McAllister, like the usual suspects, like.
Right.
I reckon McAllister would be right up there.
Perfect for Stevie to learn from. Stevie was playing on the right, mostly like in that treble season, with McAllister and the man in the middle. And Stevie was about to go right into the middle, wasn't he? Like when
just watching McAllister, just watching
Norm
replacing
said,
him or being replaced by him later on. Yeah.
Norm says, did you know when we signed Gary McAllister in 2000, we also tried to sign Steve Bold from Arsenal?
No, I did not know that.
I did not know that.
On that. It's a hell of a fact. But he was he was playing forever, Steve Bowles. He was still in the Arsenal side when he was like 40 or something ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, someone was complaining about it the other night when we were talking about.
He's telling them to F off. Oh, I'm sorry.
But no, I think Steve Bold was one of the last players in like top flight football to have a comb over. I'm pretty sure he was. He was trying that comb over into the 90s, and it was I think only by the end he kind of gave up on it. I think he went to West Ham. No, Winterburn went to West Ham.
Yeah. You'd like to think his right set or something might shave that off.
Yeah. You just but you imagine in like one of the most let's just have it right, one of the most vicious environments on the planet, which is a football dressing room. Any sign of weakness or like, you know, have it, especially like trying to hide your boldness would
Yeah.
be viciously ripped apart.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
if you have like a dirty pair of shoes, you're the joke of the day. If you don't have a nice car, you get ripped. Having a comb over should be unacceptable. And he was doing it in the 90s, but
Oh, you hear
hey,
it all the time about how players rip into each other over their
it's
hairdos
vicious.
and you hear it non-stop. Like, that's the way football is.
High, when they talk about dressing room banter, you know, when players talk about dressing room banter, that's what they talk about. Viciously ripping the piss out of each other for any even slight perceived sign of weakness. It's a jungle. That's what it is. And I'm not saying in a horrible way, but it's like, there's no quarter given. Like, these are young men, high performing athletes. It's like, all that, you know, you always have to look perfect. You have to look this, look that. Anything out of place gets picked up on. So you got to be a strong character in these dressing rooms, man. To take that.
David Burrows is known as Bugsy because of the suits he wore. Bugsy Malone.
Oh, wow.
Oh, sorry, Lee. Oh.
Certain type of suit, apparently.
Big
David
lapels.
Burrows.
Big lapels.
Yeah, so they christened him Bugsy because of his suit.
No weakness.
By the way, you know why it's you might not have noticed it, but yeah, Stevie G in this game is wearing his original kit with the Reds, number 17, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That's excellent support play from Reece. He's made up a lot of ground.
This is what we were talking about when we were doing our numbers jerseys
Yeah.
the other night.
Yeah.
Following up.
I still wouldn't mind doing like do one where we could just like you could save other players by like using other numbers, maybe if we wanted to pick a full 23 man roster or something like that. That'd be kind of cool.
Well, because if you want to do like combine a few things, but now that we've had this conversation earlier on about the that's sorry, can you hear me? That just went up really loud. After, just because of the conversation you were talking about there at the start of the stream, maybe it would be interesting to have. That's gone very loud. Is it just me? Or
no, it's not. It's the video.
Oh, it probably just changed it. Yeah, it changed quality and the sound went up. Yeah, that's cool. No, I was just thinking maybe if I don't know how we do it, but like if after what we're talking about tonight, like a best European 11, a best Liverpool European 11 versus a best European South American 11.
Oh, that would be fun. That would be fun.
Because you know what, the guys.
That would be really fun, actually.
Yeah, like
that'd be really fun. I don't know if we've had. Well, maybe we could. Do it.
Don't worry, we'll stretch it. We'll get it. We'll make one. I mean, it will be slightly restricted.
Especially since we just had that convo about
European.
Europe versus South America. Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, because of that. If you just and with Copa being on.
Big up Chris Angel in the house. Big up Chris.
Have a little bit of a look at that, maybe. Liverpool South American best 11 versus. Yeah, but again, there will be a lot fewer South Americans. But I think it'll still be a good South American team with some match winners in it.
Come on.
And,
I think, it'll be. Depending on what formation we go with, by the way.
Well, whatever suits. No, you don't have to be the same for each. You can. Because the European team is a winner. You can just basically pick from all the players ever, you know. So it's more about building the best South American team to try and compete with.
That team, I'm thinking about it in my head right now. That South American team is going to be a talented team, man. But so is the. I mean, obviously Europe has got a lot bigger of a.
We're weak at center half.
Bigger of a pool to choose from. but
I think
that was
It's
handball.
weak at centre half.
I think that was that could have been bar.
The possibility of watching it on.
I think that would have been
but
handball.
it's very weak at centre half
But it was close.
because the only two I have at the moment are
If Randall
Matteo
Cop, one would have thought.
Pellegrino and Sebastian Coates.
Certainly the cross was coming with
Yeah.
such force.
Like it's
Yeah.
weak at centre half.
That's what I was thinking then, Pellegrino.
I
Yeah,
think given the time and
Coates.
space that Martin Royce had, he should have eliminated him.
I
anyway.
can't
We could
think
put
of another
we could
South
put
American
we could put
centre half
Fabinho
we
there.
had.
And have a look
We
where
could put
it's gonna
Fabinho there.
We could, or we might need him at right back.
prime at this level.
Well, is this the third snag to hit,
I mean, we
George
have
Burley? His team
Aurelio
are
and
trailing,
Insua
Sunderland,
at
beating
left back.
Derby, and now there's an injury to John
There's
McGreal.
Danny Ayala as well.
Danny Ayala was Spanish.
Yeah.
It would be. a
Oh,
blow
was
as
he?
He's
well.
Spanish.
Well, who was
Started
that?
the game in
Yeah.
time
Who was
fantastic.
that
Well,
bloody
this is the match to
I'm
be
sure we
There
had
was
it
an
in.
Argentinian
in
called
the
Ayala,
celebrity
the
audience.
Argentina
One
central defender
Christopher.
Ayala.
Yeah, no, I don't remember the
Newspaper.
base Ayala. I'm sure we had
Yeah.
it.
Kenny right there.
Sporting a rather natty haircut.
Sure we
there
had
today.
an Argentinian.
There's Krista Berg, dude. Krista Berg, Lady in Red and all that. I bet Bernadette loves a bit of Krista Berg. On a night
We
out,
put
when
yeah,
Krista
Chris
Berg comes on, bit Lady in
offering
Red.
up some names there.
I've never heard of Lucio Cordova. He did not. Oh, if he means Lucio didn't play for him. I mean, they have to have played for Liverpool.
Oh, he's thinking maybe he's thinking South America versus like an all Premier League.
No. Yeah, they have Liverpool, a South American Liverpool in that. So I think we're
Danny
our
Ayala
defense
was Spanish, yeah.
Spanish, yeah. Danny Ayala, yeah.
We should do both actually. We should do both. We should do both.
But,
do a Reds
yeah.
team, do a Reds, and do a Premier.
Obviously, you got Ali in goal. Ali in goal helps, you know.
No, Ali in goal helps immensely. Ali in goal
You
definitely
could
helps
use
immensely.
Aurelio or Insua at right back.
Because
like
see why you can move Fab because you would have Mascherano in that role at the end.
See, that's why I'd have Fabinho at right back, you know.
Yeah.
But even then, you know,
Now, I'd have Fabinho with Pellegrino, I think, and go for
well, to be honest, I'd rather try and get an 11 together and then figure out where they go than assigning places. Because, Europe's going to win, Chris. Without a doubt, Europe's going to win. But what we're kind of trying to do is, just because of a conversation 12 hours having earlier on, and Cop is on, I think it'll be interesting to try and put together the best one. I mean, we're already on a hiding to nothing and trying to win the game, but if we could put together a functional 11, it would be pretty good. Obviously, Europe's going to destroy it, but like the defense is where it's letting us down because just say.
Interesting, by the way. 33rd minute. I don't know
Lucas
why
Leiva.
or what's coming. I don't think it's because of a knock, but 33rd minute.
It will be a knock. He's got a knock.
Stevie is coming off.
You could have Mascherano and Lucas. Right, yeah, Mascherano and Lucas Leiva in defensive
I wouldn't put
midfield.
Lucas Leiva in that role, but yeah, I got you. I feel you. Because of limited selection, yeah.
Fantastic squad now.
Lucas Leiva in defensive midfield. What role would you put him in?
No, I wouldn't put him over Mascherano, I'm saying.
No, but we're trying to get 11. Yeah, both of them together. Right. Then we can have that's 4-2. So we could have Maxi Rodriguez. That's another one. Luis Suarez. Bobby Firmino. So we could have the two up front, Suarez and Bobby. Maxi on the left, Lucas Mascherano in the middle. We just need a right winger. And that's the bones of an 11 at least, and we can add into that then.
What's his much? Was it Mark Rodriguez? Was it?
Oh, Mark Gonzalez, the Chilean guy. Put him on the left. Put him on the left and put Maxi on the right. Well, I remembered Gonzalez. I was hoping to keep him for the bench. So yeah, he was.
Well, there must be someone better. We can shoehorn.
Well, that's an 11 though. Say Aurelio at left back, Allison to goal, Aurelio at left back, Coates Pellegrino, Fabinho at right back.
Ooh, whoa,
Max.
That was
oh,
Whoa.
wow,
a guide. That was laser guide.
wow.
He didn't put his
Uh-oh.
foot right through it. He just glided it in like with precision.
Uh-oh.
It's lovely that.
First and foremost, great refereeing from Steve Dunn.
He learned to
say.
keep his top on this time. Bang. Shoulder challenge, strong shoulder challenge.
Look at that.
Oof.
That would have been that was
Perfect.
a play on and an
Inside
absolute.
post, he couldn't have placed it
Thunderstorm.
any. Look at it. Look at the
I can't
When you
stop
see
that.
where it hits there, just right next to the post, mate. Brilliant, that.
Yeah.
It's only one place to put that. Only one place to put that, and he put it there.
He really has been a
On the
I think his
brace
first
already.
goal was against Everton, wasn't it? John Arterisa. His debut goal against Everton or something, was it?
full of energy.
I know he plays against Bayern Munich in the Super Cup. Well, he won the Super Cup against Bayern Munich in 2005. Remember, we
I
beat
know
Bayern
he scored really early. I don't know if it was Everton though. It could be. I'm usually wrong, but I
It
don't
was
think
one
it
of
was
his early
Everton.
goals in the
But he
derby.
scored really early. He scored really early in his game. You look at like when you watch these games back, like you understand why, like who they played him left wing, like a lot, not just because he had to or something. Like he'd play him on left wing in big games.
In front of Carragher, yeah.
I guess, yeah,
It was
it will be
Blend,
hard to
actually.
put together.
Carragher on the left.
It's gonna be hard to put together.
Well, we have an 11. We have an 11. You know, like
We'll have
It's a
to.
good-
You have to send me the list. I'll put it together for you. But I mean,
Well, it's-
I was looking at.
yeah.
I just looked up Liverpool, the LFC history. Oh wait, hold on.
hang on.
All right, my phone's about to get a little bit of glory there.
That
It
was
looks like
very
there's only
Michael Owen, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Was that his first goal for Liverpool though? At Goodison, was it?
Could have been.
Recently,
Yeah, the shirt. Like that was another one that
yeah,
was his thing, was putting the shirt over the back of his head.
over.
Yeah,
Back
over the
of
back
his
of his head, even his face, like, yeah, right.
Oh, whoa!
The crossbar is still rattling at Anfield to this day.
I think he was
He's gonna make
offsides,
some
but still, that was a
Oh, he connected though, didn't he? He connected with that. Oh,
His eyes on Dudek as well. Goes to put it in the
Gonna make a
front
quick
post,
cup of
wraps
tea,
it
now.
across to the near side.
Ooh.
oh, it was the post. It was
Yeah,
the
go
post.
ahead.
One would have thought that's it for Ipswich.
Yeah, because let's see, there's Bobby, Pellegrino, Mark Gonzalez, Paletta, Fabio,
Yeah,
you had,
Paletta.
Javier Mascherano, Lucas, you had Sebastian, Cavalieri, Maxi, obviously, Suarez, Alexander Donny, Alexander Donny,
Keeper.
Sebastian Coates,
He's in.
and then the other Sebastian was Sebastian Leto.
Leto as well. Yeah, Leto on the left wing. Yeah, we've got a bench. We've got an 11 and we've got a bench.
Coutinho, obviously, as well.
Of course,
Yeah,
Coutinho. We forgot Coutinho. We're sortedly.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Our back line is still stuck.
Yeah.
Our midfield in a 4-4-2 can be Coutinho on the left, Lucas Leiva, Mascherano, Maxi Rodriguez, and a front two of Bobby and Suarez. We're good. We're golden there. We just have to, make a defense.
It's just that back line you got to figure out.
Yeah. Fabinho and Aurelio, I'm happy. Allison, I'm happy. It's only the two centre halves. It's Coates and Pellegrino. We're not coming up with better than that. That's your team. That's your team right there. Because all the rest are Leto, Gonzalez, Donny, Cavalieri, all bench. All bench.
Vladimir
Mhm,
Schmitter.
mhm.
Unless we're forgetting. Is there anybody we've forgotten?
I'm trying to see if there's anyone I didn't mention here. I think
Mate, I can't believe we forgot Coutinho. I did as
Yeah.
well.
Emmanuel.
Coutinho and Firmino are shoe-ins. Suarez is a shoe-in. Maxi
Ali.
Rodriguez is a shoe-in.
Yeah. Is that centre half?
We got Darwin and Diaz, don't forget.
Oh,
Darwin and
fucking
Diaz.
hell, we
Oh,
forgot
no,
Darwin
no,
and
please.
Diaz. We forgot Darwin and Diaz. How did we forget Darwin and Diaz?
Yeah.
We're sorted.
What a challenge that was.
Yeah.
Sorted. We still don't
I
have.
don't know why they're
centre
not in this list.
Darwin
man.
Nunes.
They're not in this list.
Can Darwin play
Yeah.
centre half?
Pellegrino was very good before he come to Anfield. He wasn't necessarily terrible here or not.
But he was very old.
Well, what you
Very
could
old.
do is you also could have you got Coutinho play more central and have
We've
and
changed the
have
formation
Nunez
now that we
play
have
left.
Diaz and now that we have Diaz
And you could put
and,
you could put Nunez on the left wing if you wanted to put him.
well, rather I wouldn't have, no, I'd have Nunes be on the bench behind Suarez.
Yeah.
Like.
He wouldn't make the side. Sorry, as much
Oh,
We're not getting ahead of
Absolutely.
Suarez.
I'd play
playing one up
Diaz,
front.
maybe. Possibly get Diaz a look in somewhere, but I don't know.
No, he's not getting ahead of or Coutinho on the left or Suarez up front.
Yeah. And I did
So-
love Max Rodriguez. If he'd have been here a few years earlier than when he was here, I think he'd have been
Actually,
here.
Maxi. Oh, yeah.
He played in a pretty crappy period. Maxi Rodriguez, he was I think he was Rafa's final signing or something.
They've always stuck to their principles, though, Rob, as far as football.
He very much played in a crappy Liverpool.
Didn't he just?
Play the game and, please God,
Period,
they
yeah.
play that same way next year.
Very dangerous player, wasn't he, Maxi, on his day? Very dangerous.
I was delighted when we signed him.
Mm.
Very Rafa, very Rafa player.
Pellegrino's partnership with Roberto Ayala was brilliant for both Argentina and Valencia.
Well, I'm going to forever hang my hat on, because this isn't just what they did. I can hang my hat on the fact that in the 2000 and whatever year it was, I can't remember what year it was, but Sebastian Cortez won Young Player of the Tournament at the Copa America.
Yeah.
So that's how good he was in his day. So him and a Pete Pellegrino were sorted at centre half. We're done. That's cool. That's not a bad centre half partnership, because Cortez went on and had a great career at Sporting. He was still playing until recently.
Okay, then, yeah. I'll say yes to that and put Fabinho at right back. Fabinho at right back.
Aurelio
Aurelio
left back.
at left back. Pellegrino
And
at
Stewart.
back with Alisson completes the defence.
yeah, you could put Bobby as in the back line too. Yeah, you could.
No,
Is that what you're talking
Fabinho.
about?
No, Fabinho at right back.
Oh,
Yeah.
Not Bobby.
I said you could put Bobby. You could put Bobby at left back too.
Bobby Firmino.
Did Bobby play for Brendan Rodgers? He played.
No, he played him right wing for some. Yeah, but that's because Brendan was an idiot. He played him right wing back. Probably
I
played.
think he also played. I think he played him as a left wing back. I think he played him as a left wing back too.
Brendan did. Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah.
Rodgers. Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't
Yeah.
just because it's Brendan Rodgers doesn't mean it didn't happen.
But it doesn't mean that Firmino is a left back.
But have you got any idea who the
We have
first
Aurelio and Insua.
player we bought was? I can't think who was the first ever South American player we got, and it was quite late. We didn't have a South American
So
player.
I was going to say, because you know why it's difficult is because I was just trying to add up, and I was listening to what you were saying, but I was trying to add up the number of players we've had. I think we've only had like 20 South American players or something like that.
Yeah, we had. Was it not the goalkeeper? Was it not like Cavalieri or Donny or was it one of them?
And they seem to slide across the top of it. Now, whether that's causing groin problems, hamstring problems, I don't know. But you can't beat a good old stud.
If I remember correctly,
Did you hear that? Did you hear that
It
from
was
Ray?
close.
You can't beat a good old stud. Yeah, he knew what he was saying there. He knew what he was
Did
saying.
Houllier buy any American players?
Yeah.
Did Gerard Houllier buy any South Americans?
Wow.
I don't think he did he? So you're looking at Rafa being the first Liverpool manager that bought a South American, probably.
It might have been Pellegrino, but I was thinking Cavalieri, Ardoni, maybe. But it's that era, definitely. It's definitely that era.
South American players few and far between in Division 1 when I was a small boy. Like, you had Ricky Villa and Ozzy Ardiles. You didn't have Mirandina at Newcastle. Mirandina was one of the first Brazilians to come here.
No, it was not the norm at all.
No.
2 extra minutes in the first half.
That was a poor ball.
That was very.
To be honest, all the players were British nearly when I was a kid. There was very few European players either. I was always excited when a non-British player comes to the Premier League. Whoever they were, well, I don't mean just for Liverpool. I mean for any club. I was made up to see foreign players in the Division 1 as it was when I was a kid.
Stay with it.
Bramble.
Jamie Clapham. Yeah, of course you wanted to see those stars coming in.
I was made up when Klinsmann come to the Premier League, when the Premier League was still in its infancy.
I thought it was brilliant. Yeah,
it was great for the Premier League. Tony Power, players like that. I was dead excited for 10 years.
Oh, it's a touch. I think we're putting up a decent side. Oh, that was ambitious.
Ryderson. Tommy Miller. Wilness.
Yeah.
Abby Cohen was the standout foreign name in our team when I was little. It was like the only foreign name in our team was Abby Cohen. Everyone else was British.
Yeah, and for him to be bloody Israeli as well, it was just weird.
Yeah.
Like, nobody, Israel didn't have good players.
So right out of left field, that one, innit?
Yeah, like one of the best clubs in the world to buy an Israeli player. What?
And it's Danny Murphy.
He was on the first Liverpool.
Oh, that's not working.
You know when you used to have
that's not happening, Danny.
On your wall, on your bedroom wall as a boy. Abby Cohen was on that, and Kevin Sheedy was on that. My first Liverpool squad that I had on my wall when I was about 8. Kevin Sheedy, Richard Money. Everyone forgets Richard Money.
Halfway along the road to the first division, George
Steve Grizovic was the sub goalie. Oggy.
Oh, we had an Oggy. Jesus.
Oggy.
Yeah, muting that is a good idea in case some 90s classics pop up. Yeah. This guy always had a 90s classics pop up.
There was a bit of the chat in between the match that Sue's in the studio for the laughs. Well, shows the in between part. Must be Ray Wilkins. I liked Ray Wilkins when he was a pundit. I did like him. We had a song about him though, like in the 80s on the cop that I found funny as a child. Like,
well, he's passed on now, so
yeah, I liked him though. I liked Ray.
Professional, like I don't mean this like in a bad way, but like a professional, almost a professionally nice man. Like everybody that's ever met Ray Wilkins would say he was the nicest person you could ever meet. He was just one of those people that everybody in football says, oh, there's loads of really, there's loads of arseholes in football, but Ray Wilkins basically just treated everybody the same, was the same with everybody, never got, it was just a lovely bloke. But I know the song, and Norm brought it up earlier on.
I
know the song.
Called Bent, and Bent was in the song, and the final word was rent. And Bald was in it as well. Bald, Bent, and Rent were in the song, but he was a nice man. I just laughed at it because I was like about 10 when that song was popular. I was like,
it was never winning Eurovision. It was never winning Eurovision, but it was a decent tune. Alan Harper, Alan Harper.
We didn't do a South American team. We can maybe we could do like a we also do like a England versus the world type thing too. Do that as a possible.
Well, when you do that with Liverpool, you see, you have to be very specific, because when you say England, then you mean England. Or if you say UK, then that brings in all the Scottish. Yeah, it brings in all the Scottish legends and the Welsh legends like Rush and Dalglish and Souness. But if you just say England, which is what I prefer doing, because it just brings it to English players. Because if you could do England versus the world, or but I think that South American team, it's optimistic, but it's got some obvious serious attacking flair, but it might be a little bit vulnerable at the back.
This is why I was toying with the idea of Fabinho partnering Prime Pellegrino, Prime Pellegrino.
Who's our right back then?
We'd have to smuggle someone like Insua in there. Insua as a left-footed right back. I mean, there've been plenty of right-footed left backs. I mean, like Dennis Irwin was a great right-footed left back. Carragher was good at left back for a right footer, so we could smuggle a left footer to.
It rarely works on the opposite flank, though. I think that's.
I know, it's rare. You see,
there's a lot more right-footed people than there are left-footed. So if you can't get a left footer, you can get a good right-sided player. I prefer the balance with Fabinho at right back, because I think like Fabinho at right back and Quades and Pellegrino is stronger than Fabinho with Insua at right back. Because Fabinho and Aurelio was a great attacking full-back pair. We've got two natural centre halves. We've got Ali, we've got Mascherano and Lucas in front, holding the fort. Coutinho off the left, Maxi off the right, and then Bobby Firmino and Luis Suarez creating between the two of them up front.
Do we have
Diaz Nunes first subs, whatever you want to do?
Do we have a centre off at the bench for our bench for the South American team? No.
Oh, we do actually. We do. We have Gabriel Paletta.
Ah, yes. I knew there were more in the Rafa era. Paletta, yeah. Paletta come with quite a big rep. Paletta was meant to be a good player, but it did not happen.
Like Quates, a really highly rated young South American centre half. This was in the era of us not being able to buy top players, so we were constantly gambling on buying the next, which is why we were going out by likes of Quates at 19, because they were hopefully going to develop into the next top player, and they didn't.
Yeah, whereas
but both of them, Paletta had a good career. Paletta went and had a good career, and so did Quates. So it showed that they were. That was the thing, we couldn't, and we were also not in Europe. But Paletta and Quates went on and both had actually good long careers at good levels, like in Serie A and Sporting and stuff like that. So it showed they were good footballers. It's just we were buying them as centre halves when they were bloody 17 and 18. You need the ready-made finished article kind of thing. You were buying kids from South America and expecting them to, it wouldn't. So when we had a Hippia, that's the kind of player you needed. So, but we were going out. We were scouting South America back then. It shows even back then we were going out looking at young talent in South America. So we get a lot of slagging for not doing that. And it shows you we were trying to do those things 20 odd years ago.
Remember Alan? Remember the Brazilian Alan?
Oh, the saga of Alan. Shakespeare couldn't have written a longer saga. Or Homer couldn't have written a longer one. It took 6 years. He never played for the club. 1,700 loans. He went from Norway to Uzbekistan and all points in between, trying to pick up a work permit. Never happened.
That rule's a load of crap. Where he can't just come in and play. I'm not having that rule. We should just be able to buy players from anywhere, and he can come in and play. That rule's
and every manager that came, I think he was here, he was still here when Jurgen came in. He was still on the books, and I definitely remember Jurgen saying that kid is brilliant. Brendan was talking about how good he was. He could never couldn't get a work permit.
Let's get the second half rocking and rolling, and I'll queued up for it.
Yeah, don't like that work permit rule, where Brazilians sometimes can't come in. Come and play the Brazilians. what Brazilians do. They play football. Let them play football. Yeah. Because it's easier for them to go into other leagues, isn't it? They haven't got that shit in other leagues, Brazilians. They can just walk in and play.
Well, go and write a strongly worded letter to your member of parliament, Lee, about immigration and employment law.
I will. I will write a vituperous, venomous letter to them, giving them down the banks about it.
Yeah, who is this guy? Calafiore, someone whose name I had never heard before.
So he's an Italian defender. He is been heavily linked to us because we are in the market for a center back, and he is now the center back that we are not only heavily linked to, but possibly is. I still think that Euro is possibly one of the is a unique choice for us because he's being marked as being this generational quote unquote talent at such a young age and blah blah blah, and it's more of like a opportunity. It's an opportunity as opposed to this is the center back that we've always wanted or we needed to. It's more like it's an opportunity. It's rather than it is a a target. But
if Madrid don't want him, apparently, and he wants Madrid, so
right.
What happens if we do sign him, right? And in 2 years' time, Real Madrid do want.
I'm never about to go with it. Yeah.
Yeah, we all know what's happening then, don't we? He's going to have to. He's going to have to pay.
They'll have to pay for him.
Yeah, but he'll kick up a big stink and want to leave.
What nationality is he?
I don't think. I hope if he does that, then
he's French. He's French.
He's French. Yeah.
I was going to say,
if he were to do something like that,
then we should get a work permit for him, shouldn't we? Like there shouldn't be no Allen situation with him having a name like Euro.
No, like I'm saying, he has his you got people like Romano coming out saying he wants to go to Madrid. Madrid want him, but they're waiting to see, and they might ask him to hang on. I don't want to look. That's you're asking some girl out, and she's like, "Look, I will definitely go out with you, but just give me 3 hours because if this other guy gets back to me before 5 o'clock, I'm going to go out with him. But if he doesn't text me by 5, I'll definitely go out with you. I'll go out
with you. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, girl. I'm going to go. Yeah, I'm going to go and find someone who actually wants to go out with me.
Yeah, that's the end.
No, yeah.
Well,
no, you go.
This guy,
if you're waiting on
this
him,
guy Ricardo, Calafiore is 22 years old. He's plays for Bologna. He is definitely he's a good center back, but he is Italian. So again, I mean, you're talking about the whole wanting Real Madrid or this or that, yada yada. A lot of Italian players just want to be in Italy. Let's just keep it 100.
Yeah. Not a lot of Italian centre halves. Remember Alexander Pistone for Newcastle, then Everton. He was here. Pistone.
My football golden rule, Lee. My football golden rule: never buy Italian. It might work. 90% of the time, it won't.
No. It's too big a gamble buying Italian players to play in the Premier League, mate. They don't have a good history.
They don't like England. Italian people, I'm sorry to break this to English people.
Yeah, the weather.
Italian people don't like England. They think it's a shithole. They don't like living there. They don't. They think it's like a serious downgrade of a living area from where they are. They're like, okay, I'll go there because this crazy English team is going to pay me 180 grand a week.
Italians just don't like leaving Italy for any other country.
Full stop. That's the whole thing. My whole thing about it is cultural. When I say don't buy Italian, it's cultural. I could talk about it for 20 minutes. I won't because it bores everybody, but it's cultural. Italian people think that everything that's in Italy is the best version of everything. Full stop. Best weather, best football.
Even when Germans come here, I remember the guys out of Faust, the band Faust, Brian. They were saying like Richard Branson bought it because I think he called it 4 here maybe or something, and they were given roast beef with mint sauce, and they couldn't handle that we had mint sauce with roast beef. They thought that was just too weird, and they went off home to Germany to get real food. Is what they said. Basically, they said no, we didn't like it, so we left.
There's a comparison. Norm's given a comparison of who he thinks. Calafiore. It's Cala. Yeah, he knows this a typo, but Calafiore reminds me of Gabriel Hines, but bigger. So,
well, he was a big lad himself.
He was a very big lad. Yeah.
I wanted Heinze, and so did we, but Fergie wouldn't sell him.
Yeah.
So Rafa tried to buy him, and Fergie didn't want him anymore. He was surplus to requirements at United, but he would not sell him to Liverpool. He sold him to someone else.
Yeah.
Gabriel
he fell out with Ferguson, and he was granted a transfer. He was allowed to leave. And so he said, yeah, fine, whatever, you can go. And so Heinze was like, okay, cool. And he negotiated a deal with us. And we were signing him. It was done. He'd agreed to join Liverpool. And he was brilliant, that guy. And as soon as Fergie found out that he was going to join us, he vetoed it. He said, no, I'm not selling you. I'm not selling you to that lot.
Yeah, that
I'll sell it to someone else.
Score to take the title away from Fergie, couldn't it? So he went, I'm not having that, lad.
Yeah.
The old sprout. The cantankerous, curmudgeonly old Caledonian C-word.
Understandable enough, from his point of view. Like, that's what you'd expect our manager to do. But he went to Real Madrid then, and he was brilliant for them.
I like using the thing Caledonia for Scotland.
I do. I'm gonna bring up this game while we can continue to talk about it. I'm gonna bring this game while we talk about it.
Hibernia is the name for Ireland, wasn't it? For the Romans, Hibernia.
Yeah.
And Scotland was Caledonia.
Yeah, there's a brilliant James Brown song called Caledonia. It's an old kind of blues standard classic kind of thing. But
James Brown.
Yeah, there's a great song called Caledonia, which a lot of them do versions of it, but that's a great track. But yeah, there's loads of pubs in Ireland called the Hibernian or the High B. They always get shortened at High B, but most pubs or most places in Ireland used to have had a pub called the Hibernian. There he is.
Sad occasion for George Burley, who took over too late to rescue Ipswich from Premiership relegation back in 1995. It was actually the third relegation he'd suffered in.
Yeah, it's his second time at Burnley or at Ipswich.
With Sunderland, ironically.
Oh.
Yeah, I noticed when it shows you.
I don't want to talk
about it. You cheeky little.
There's a reason Titus Bramble had a certain reputation, and it's moments like that.
Yeah.
It's moments like that.
I think Titus tightened
the kick.
That header was going. You went,
oh.
That's a good goal scorer's goal there from Michael.
Owen.
Excellent. Good news for England as well.
The setup.
This game now.
Yeah. It's the lateness of Owen, wasn't it? Like, when defenders were trying to give it to the goal, he was always there sniffing Owen. He was great at that.
Completely missing the kick.
I think he's looked sharp.
And then,
I've got to say,
Owen,
really terrific runs off the ball,
sharp as anything, born alive. But
Bramble
carried that reputation.
This was a very solid Liverpool defence. This Carragher and Nabil Xavier. And Honcho and Hippier.
Honcho and Hippier went
these few seasons.
No, this is the team that went, I think, 18 months. As this might be at the back end of that 18 months, but the Babel Honcho Hippier one went as the best defense in England for over a season and a half.
Mm.
We were rock solid. We didn't always put the ball in the back of the net, and we played defensively, but we were rock solid.
Good,
It's what we needed after the Evans era, where we played 3 centre halves and wing backs.
Yeah, gung ho
We always
football.
kept the ball. We were the possession side, but we weren't the champions. You know what I mean? We just couldn't keep teams out. It's too easy to score against.
We were playing with the centre midfield of we had 3 at the back. We had a centre midfield of Barnes and Redknapp. Or Barnes and some other
Evans
attacking midfield.
Playing that formation with 3 at the back, he said we don't really need a tackling hard-man centre midfield. So
I think he was wrong though. The game changed. We started getting.
But he did change his mind and buy Paul Ince.
And then went to 4 at the back.
Be in vain because of England's goal, which came within a minute of the restart and came so quickly that Gerard Miller and Phil Thompson didn't even witness it. They were still returning to their positions.
I was just thinking at the time when Titus Bramble made that mistake, Rob, how much more it
is. Yeah, I don't know what I don't know, Norm, if we're gonna necessarily go for if we're gonna end up getting this player from Bologna.
Mistakes in this Premiership season from Titus Bramble, but
it would be certainly an interesting acquisition, considering what we just said about Italian players and how a lot of times Italian players don't necessarily resonate into wanting not only to stay but to just performing well. There's not many Italian players that perform well in the as of late. So I remember I've gotten into these conversations before with a lot of people. They're like, they'll mention an Italian player, and I'll be like, well, think about the last time an Italian player really bagged, or popped off in the Premier League. This I'm talking about what the 80s to 90s or something like that. It's been a long time, and I mean, and you're bringing out one or two names in that list, so for a country that isn't exactly that far away from, is a part of the European continent and everything else,
I think the English take food as seriously as Italians, and that appalls them. We have other concerns in this country. We always have that. Like, food is not the top concern, but with the Italians, it's basically the number one thing. Food and drink.
No, I mean, look, if I was working within the Liverpool, back rooms areas, and I wanted to, and I got the opportunity to bring in, Bastoni or I'm sorry, I'm looking back here, or even I'm trying to think of who else I would go for.
Who's the one Newcastle finale that's it? The Beckham fanatic that you for? I mean, such a cliche that, isn't it, for Italian players to cheat in that manner?
Yeah, but Lee, if you look back, there was footage of him. It wasn't just a story, and there was talk about it. Of him crying at the news that he was leaving. Now, maybe he was crying because he knew some things might come to light, but there was also that was how much we talk about these guys not wanting to leave. He's
look even go one step closer to look at how disinterested Newcastle's acquisition. What's his name? Go blank on his name for some reason.
No, that's what we're talking about. No, that's what we're talking about. He was the guy that was crying when he was leaving.
Okay,
he was crying. Crying and having to leave AC Milan.
Look, he's like so they're doing a tour of the facilities. He couldn't be less bothered.
It makes you
his wife looked more interested in the workout facilities than he did.
Yeah, if it makes you cry to leave your home city, then maybe you shouldn't leave.
Cancel the deal. Yeah. It's the classic. It's like with Andy Carroll in the helicopter on the way to Liverpool to join on deadline day, saying that he was hoping he was going to fail his medical, so he didn't have to leave Newcastle. Like,
Yeah.
just say that to somebody, dude. Like,
Yeah,
if I'm the club that's buying you,
Clapper,
I need to know. I want to know that
Rosa,
because
a rider
I might just hold on to that 35 and do something in the summer. We panicked the shit out of that one. I'd love to know a bit more about who and what pulled the trigger on that deal and had the final say or
You know
whatever.
what, mate? There's been loads of Italian players I've loved and coveted, but have never wanted us to buy them for that reason, because it just doesn't translate here, really.
But the only other thing is, Lee, and everyone will make these kind of really shitty arguments, and everyone they will mention that's done well in England, I guarantee you this, they were.
Did Viali do well? I don't remember him scoring that often.
But I'll tell you, there's a common denominator in all the ones that were considered successes. They were kind of a little bit different. They were outsider characters.
Yeah.
They were older when they moved to England, and they all went to London clubs. They can handle London because there's enough in London to have an Italian. The food is a big thing. They can just about get by in London, but the likes of Zola, Di Canio, Viali, they were now. Ravanelli thrived in Middlesbrough. He scored 1 million goals. Yes,
Attilio Lombardo did well for Crystal Palace.
At Crystal Palace in London, again in London, an older player came when they're in their 30s. Like, we talk about these Italians that want to leave Italy. Of course, there are some wild cards. There are different people everywhere. These were Italian people that wanted to go abroad and sample a different culture, but they were doing it at a later stage in their career, and they did in a city like London, where you can have, if you want the best Italian food, you can almost, you can get something close to it in London. You can't get it in Sunderland or Liverpool or Middlesbrough or London. You can just about get by on, but for some young kid being bought for big money, going to a club like Newcastle in the northeast of England, being shown around the stadium, and it's just like, have you seen AC Milan's training ground? My God, it's one of the most beautiful places, like in Italy. This place up in the mountains, it's gorgeous. Like it's just this stunning place up in the mountains.
Yeah,
and he's been shown around Newcastle's crappy little training ground. Like in, I don't know, whatever place, like no offense to Newcastle, but out on the North Sea somewhere, and he's like, dude, like my wife ain't moving here. there's no, we're like, she's not moving here.
A lot of the times it's the wives as well.
That's a card.
When the wives move. And I do understand that when women come and marry to footballers and they come to a very, very different culture, that's tough for them. Because at least the man's at work, like he's there doing his job, going to work. Like football, the wife, like,
it's a body check. It's a body check.
No. You left that leg out there on purpose. That could be that goes into, that hits your knee wrong. That could be a.
Oh, it's a foul. No, it's a foul. Oh, it's a foul. Yeah, it's a foul. Don't worry. He survived. He survived. It's a foul.
Still a few more goals to go, as long as you remember.
Hey, now, no spoilers, Lee. Leave it to your spoiler Oilers.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
Oh. Scalvini and Bastoni. I thought you brought in the Licht. Did you not bring in the Licht?
No.
Did I bring in? I brought in the Licht.
You brought the Licht in, yeah.
You
went for the Licht. I went Italian.
We both went for Bastoni, though. But I don't think anybody mentioned this California guy. Californio?
Yeah, no, I didn't. I mean, that was on no one's. I don't think anyone was ready. Oh wow! Oh! Check out the name on the back of the kit, people.
He was capable of some really beautiful moves, and beautiful moves where he'd like beat players and just the most delightful of ways, which beat players who'd be like, get it.
Well, leave it outside of the boot. We get to look. I don't know what happens with
it. No, he sees it quick when it comes back. He uses his other foot and goes, here you go.
Oh no, the left. The touch with the left is great, but I'm not sure.
I don't know what the defender there.
I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing. His legs just seem to just crumble from underneath him.
Yeah. don't know what that was, but
Lovely
I love
outside of the
Flatty.
boot finish.
He was a really
Lovely
nice,
outside of the
skilled chap as well. Flatty Spice, like, you know, in
Yeah,
conversation. He
big
warmed to
goal
him.
in the European Cup final. Big
Mhm.
goal in the European Cup final, and
I
that
loved
was
his
very in that
celebration.
area.
Yeah.
It was in that similar area. I wasn't cutting it in and bending it with the outside. It was very similar kind of goal.
Yeah, Spice's celebration in Istanbul was the best celebration, right?
Oh, Jared, yeah, Jared was like, Jared didn't even try and celebrate. He was like, no,
Let's get on with
center
it.
circle, no,
Yeah.
yeah, fuck celebrating. It's 3-1.
Get
Come
on
on,
with it.
let's go. I think he allowed himself about like a half a second of like a fist pump kind of thing. And
Yeah.
it was straight to business, just straight to business after that.
Which was
3-1.
exactly what we needed
Yeah.
for that
Banging the
celebration.
ball down. Yeah, banging the ball down on the center circle saying, right, let's go.
Once
Exactly what was
Spicer
needed.
scored, like, he knew we were back in it then. He was like, have some of this.
for nothing. 59th minute.
I love hearing from
here.
the Milan players about that final, especially people like Gattuso, when he goes, the Istanbul game, the Liverpool game, it's still like a knife in my mind. And I thought, yeah, excellent language there. I hope it is. I hope it digs in quite often, like, when you think about it.
Yeah, that'll do me.
They've been very, very professional in their work today. Very professional. They're still working really hard.
Here's one for you, Brian. And this for the chat, too. In 1914, Liverpool signed an Irishman from Belfast Celtic. He played in goal for over 20 years. What was his name?
Oh, you bastard. You absolute bastard.
Played for 20 years. Played for over 20 years.
Uh-huh. Oh, and you told me about this guy.
He was a very striking-looking fellow with his 1920s haircut, and like he always had like a roll neck, like a roll neck sweater on when you see him.
He had a particular, don't look at the chat. Don't look at the chat. Big up, Norm.
Oh, I'm not looking. Is it in the chat? Is it?
It is in the chat, so that's why I'm saying don't look at the chat.
How do people? Is it Donahue?
Yeah, he loved the roll neck sweater. This guy.
I think he might have misspelled his first name. He misspelled the first name, but I think that was probably a typo. I know you know who it is.
Is his name Donahue?
It is not Donahue.
I don't think he is once again.
Oh,
I don't think it's not a very Irish name, actually. At least I wouldn't have called Irish if I've seen this name, but maybe it is. I'm not certain.
No, I can't remember. We were talking about this a while ago when we were talking about Kelleher being the only Irish keeper.
Yeah,
You looked up. Yep. You were looking up the thing, and you told me the name of this guy, and I can't. I had never heard of him. Like Ambrose or something like.
Not Ambrose. Yeah.
I can't remember what you told me his name. I know I had never heard of him until you told me. So. I can't remember it now. I can't remember it, but you did. You told me it a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember it.
Elijah Scott.
Okay, right. Okay.
King of the roll.
He used to wear two pairs of socks in every game, and he also would wear 3 sweaters, no matter what weather it was. I guess it was like I don't know if it was like a superstitious thing or something, but that was his thing.
Actually, Elijah Scott, he's a very striking looking person. Like, just looks serious and very. He just looked excellent. Like, when you see pictures of him, you go, he looks like some sort of guy. And Elijah Scott. He's very fair. He went down well on the inside. Loved Elijah Scott, and we still make a big deal of him now and talk about him like we always have done here on Merseyside. Elijah Scott.
Yeah. Okay. So move on.
You move on. Yeah. Guten Abend. I think I kind of said it with a little bit of an accent there, or not a proper German accent. Sorry, hi Laura, but Guten Abend. Good evening. Good evening.
Even Southgate is even getting to the non-England fans, is it?
For a long time, Liverpool. and are really ready now
Yeah.
to mount a massive
Belfast.
challenge.
Tyler's not very happy.
How about this then? Since we were on 1914, I'll give this one then. I'll give this to Lee then. I'll give this one to Lee. Liverpool made their first appearance in an FA Cup final in 1914. Who did they play and what was the score? You can tell me the first if you can't pick the score.
Liverpool's first FA Cup final appearance.
Yep.
You say?
It is great to see
And what
Liverpool
year?
on the way back as
Yep.
well. Thank
Yep,
God.
1914
No,
was
what-
the
They have done
No.
exceptionally
19.
wants to know
So
what
Liverpool made their
score.
first appearance.
Nothing Gerrard has instilled
Okay,
within
Yeah.
don't look at the
Let's
chat. Don't look at the
score.
chat. Big up Norm. Norm is killing it today. Liverpool made their first appearance in an FA Cup final in 1914. Who did they play? And if you can give me the score, I'll give you extra credit.
14 or 40?
14,
1914.
1-4.
1-4.
As in the
1-9.
start of the First World War.
1-4.
Yeah, okay.
1-4.
Yeah.
1-4.
Yeah, it's
I think the match is a bit loud. The match maybe for
Okay.
noise might be a bit loud.
It's pretty low. I'll turn it down though.
No, I mean yeah, but even if we're if you're oh, that was close.
Okay, so hopefully that's good. Go ahead. 1914.
Mm-hmm.
And Norm got the correct answer, by the way.
Oh, and what was the score?
If you can tell this, Norm, if you can tell me the score, I'll give you extra credit.
I don't
I
know
should
this.
hope he-
No, I can't
I
get
should-
this. I thought our first FA Cup final was against Arsenal in when Bob Paisley played or something. I didn't know we got there before then. That one
Apparently.
against Arsenal when Bob Paisley was playing and we lost 2-1 or something. It's the one I was thinking of. So I don't know one 1914 because Bob Paisley weren't born then.
Probably not.
Fucking, I don't know.
Who was good in 14?
No,
Yeah, who's good
I'll
in
say
14?
Arsenal. I'll say it was Arsenal, but earlier than the Bob Paisley
All
one.
right.
It was another Arsenal.
So both
Am I right?
both swing and misses by the panel so far. Yes.
Oh
It
no,
was
I know.
1-0.
I saw the other one. I wasn't guessing. I knew what the answer was.
Yeah, you did know the answer. You just couldn't. Yeah, you couldn't. It was.
I just
Couldn't,
didn't say it wasn't far.
couldn't
me.
recall it. I know. Couldn't recall
No,
it.
no. Oh, did my previous one? Oh yeah, it is. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
previous
that
one. Previous one I'm talking about. Yeah.
So what was the answer?
It was Burnley. It was Burnley. Was the opponent, and Burnley won 1-0.
Burnley were very good in them days. Very good. They were a massive
what I was
size
saying
in them
to you.
days.
That's what I said to you. Remember who was good back then? That's what I said to you before. After you guessed on, it was like who was good back then? Because like it's always the northern teams.
Yeah,
The
Burnley
one-
and
yeah.
Preston.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been Tottenham. Not back then. Tottenham probably.
No.
Yeah, no, not back then. It's always Burnley. Yeah, like he's Preston and
Yeah.
Blackpool and those kind of teams.
Northwest team.
Yeah. Do you think it's because it was again going to what you earlier stated about like Scotland having
Not many Haler.
you know,
Not many Haler. That's what I'd say to that. Not many.
Yeah, to me then, thinking about it, I thought our first FA Cup final was the one with Bob Paisley played at left back, like, and he got injured or something as well, like poor old Bob. But and he was gutted.
Ericsson's a good player, though. Ericsson's a good player.
Yeah, that's about really it, maybe. So maybe one.
But very good for the team effort.
Maybe. I mean, I like Anderson. Does he? I don't know if he gets into that side, but
I think you know what's funny is
Hoyland over Watkins, maybe. I don't think so though. Not in this season.
back in the 40s, 1940s, Liverpool signed an incredible talent from America. Possibly one of the best athletes in the world. Can you name that player that they signed in the 1940s? If I can give you the exact date, if you need the exact date, it was 1944. 1944 was the exact date.
There was a lot of stuff going on in 1944.
Oh yeah, tell me about it.
been a tough afternoon for young Darren Bent.
He's an American, and he signed for Liverpool. He was and it was regarded as, if not as, but he was the best athlete in the world, one of the best athletes in the world.
Yeah, I'm assuming we did some strange deal and signed like Jesse Owens, or
that's a good shout, Hylor. That's a good shout.
I don't know, like best athlete in the world or best footballer in the world. There was no football in 1944, so I don't know. Are you talking about Liverpool in Europe? I don't know. Like there was no football being played in 1944.
Norm got it.
Norm's a fiend, Norm's a fiend.
In 1944, Liverpool signed the world heavyweight boxing champion of the world, Joe Louis.
Yeah. So that's not that's what I'm talking about. There was no football being played in 1944. There was a war on.
Yeah.
So
I didn't say play football. I just said all I said is.
I know you're saying that we signed one of the best athletes. That's why I knew you were.
Yeah.
It was. I knew it wasn't a football. There was no football being played. So that's why I said Jesse Owens.
Yeah.
So I don't.
I mean, Jesse Owens was a good. That was a good.
I don't know why we signed one of them, or what. I don't know what we signed him to do. Like, what did we sign Joe Louis to do? Like play for our boxing team or something? What was his job?
He was up there. Joe Louis was doing like a promotional visit to England, and when he came over. He came over. He did a tour of England, and one of the stops on the tour was Liverpool. And at Liverpool, they did like one of those signing.
Yeah.
They signed him as a player.
It'll have been to have lifted wartime spirits, won't it, for people to see a great athlete and that.
Yeah.
I questioned the legitimacy.
Yeah, he was. Joe Louis, he was an incredible fighter. Norm, you're right. One of the greatest heavyweight boxers ever, and also he fought against, as you said, Max Schmeling, the German fighter.
Yeah, the Brown Bomber.
There was a lot going on during that era. I mean, a lot. I mean, the story between Joe Louis and Max is an incredible story itself.
Yeah.
Because there was so much pressure on Max, by Germany, and being like their champion and such, and being very important for him to beat Joe Louis.
Yeah, I'm not like a boxing fan or any of that, but I've read loads of boxing books about stuff like that, because like 10% of it is about boxing, and most of it is like social history or something.
Somebody got an unknown call.
Just go to answer a call. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. No worries.
Sorry.
Yeah. Pesky probably could have boxed. He's a boxer's body. You know what I mean? He's a big guy.
This was a good season for Liverpool, despite us not winning anything. The season after the treble, it was Bayer Leverkusen that was the Champions League, won it in the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Carsten Ramelow and Lucio Diaz. Lucio was the Brazilian centre half. Carsten Ramelow was a big beanpole midfielder with blonde hair, German guy. And they beat us. They went to the final. They lost the final to Real Madrid. And Zidane scored a peach of a winner. I think it was 1-0 win. And Zidane's come from over Zidane's back, and he just latched onto it and webbed it in. Up at, I think it was Hampden Park that year, the Champions League final, up at Hampden Park.
I'll give you a final then. I'll give you another fun question then. The first Liverpool player to lift the FA Cup was who? Whom? Who was the first Liverpool player to ever lift the FA Cup?
Yeah, no.
Do you have an answer, Lee? I know. Yeah, that's for the chat too, guys. You guys can answer this too.
Ron Yates.
Yes. You and Norm are on fire. Yep. You know which? Who was it against? What year? Who was it against?
against Leeds
Leeds
in
United.
1965.
Yep, 1965. Good call. How about this? How about this, Norm? Since you're on fire, I think Norm's on like he's an NBA Jam. He'd be like, he's on fire. You know, that's a little NBA Jams on a video game back in the day. Which Liverpool player scored the first goal televised on Match of the Day? Who scored the first goal for Liverpool on Match of the Day? First goal televised on Match of the Day. Who's the first to score? I'll give you extra credit if you can tell me the name.
You mean when Match of the Day was a new thing?
Yeah.
A new program. Nice.
Yeah, 1970. I'll give you the year. I'll give you the hint. 1972. Norm is on fire, by the way. So don't look at the chat.
We see the ball coming through. It gets a little skid through.
1972.
But Andy's just a bit too close to him. Should have stayed on his line and give Marcus.
Yeah, that was the first match. That was the first goal. First goal televised on Match of the Day. I'll give you another 10 seconds. Because Norm already got the answer.
But that happens.
Was it Alan Evans?
Norm says it was in 64. The stat that I have was it was Roger Hunt and Liverpool beat Arsenal 3-2 in 1972, it says.
No, that was 64, I think. That 12.
Was it 64?
Trump wasn't playing for us in 72.
I'll
That's
double
what I was
check.
thinking about the game against Arsenal when we won the league, and there's like good old footage of the cop. This policeman walking past the cop, laughing, you know, with all the banter and all the jazz and that, and the singing with his like copper's hat on and that. But he looks dead happy and buzzing, and it's a good like picture, and that's been commented on many times by commentators. The jolly policeman.
Mm-hmm.
Clapham's free kick.
Yeah, we spanked Arsenal like I think Hunt got a hat-trick.
1964, you're right. I know why it was 1964. It says 72.
Just over hitting that one.
1964.
Jamie Clapham, who was part of the through the play.
Let me think of another one then.
Still one or two around from those days. Mark Venus, Martin Roycer, Fabian Wilness. And all now presiding over Ipswich's return from whence they came.
Yeah, 5 points off safety when it shows you the relegation places before. They were like on 36 and the next team was on 41. So they were relegated before this day. Like I knew that I remembered that much. They were already relegated in this match, but I do remember them as being a half decent side in these years. At least what I mean by that is they had some alright players that stood out and you went, oh yeah, they can, you know, play occasionally when you.
How about this one? Kevin Keegan made his debut for Liverpool against which team? Which team did Kevin Keegan, make his debut for Liverpool?
Good goalkeeping. He's
it was 1970, wasn't it, when we bought him? 1970. So,
it was. I have the 71 in the 1971-72 season. That's what I have. Maybe it is 1970.
No, well, we probably bought him and then he didn't play until the following season because he was only young.
Right.
I know. I wasn't alive. Like I don't know. It could be anybody. It could be anybody. I don't know. It could be.
Norm got it. Norm got it. Norm's on fire today. He got all of them right so far. I can't think of. Oh wow!
Remember that
Lord, can't put it through.
Remember that match.
That's Marcus Stewart, man.
Gotta do better than that. That's gotta be a goal, man.
To be honest, he wasn't far away.
On sides.
But look at that. And to say, yeah, he saves it, doesn't he? It's saved.
He got a touch.
It was Forrest, by the way. It was Forrest.
Yeah, it was corner. Got a touch.
Still berated the assistant referee.
I guess, yeah, you did get it. Yeah, it's very true.
I didn't think of Forest because when Forest won the Division 1 and then won the European Cup twice off the back of that one league win, only one league win, they got into blind club. They'd just been promoted the season before that, so I was not thinking of them. Because that was what, 78 when they won the league, 77, 78 when we beat Bruges at Wembley in the European Cup final. It was unusual for us not to win the league. But yeah, Brian Clough managed to get smuggled one away from us. Like,
well, that's underplaying that achievement a little bit, don't you think? Like to take a promoted team to win a league and then win 2 consecutive European Cups, having just been promoted, like
massive,
literally just been promoted. That's insanity. Like that's like Leicester getting promoted, going and winning the league the next season, and then winning 2 European Cups. That's it doesn't happen these days, but
it was easier for them to win 2 European Cups than it was.
Well, it was knockout. It was easier to get knocked out, but it was a straight knockout. You lose one round, you're out.
They were a difficult side, that Forest side. They weren't as good a football side as Liverpool like to watch and that, but they were good and they were very deep. They were dogged and all that stuff like that Clough side. So you can see how they won it twice on the spin, like.
Yeah, they had plenty of talent on the wings, but
Robertson and all that.
Robertson, O'Neill, Trevor Francis, but they had there's one of those Liverpool games. Or Norman, remember it? You'll remember it, like when Liverpool beat that Forest side 5-0. I think it was at Anfield. Like they were double European. They were English champions and European champions, or double European champions. I can't remember exactly what it was, but they came to Anfield basically as the best team on the planet, and Liverpool completely dismantled them 5-0. And there's still people out there say that's the best Liverpool performance of all time, because Forest were European champions, English champions, all of that, and they were completely dismantled.
Give Gary McAllister the emotional farewell that he craves, and I'm sure the Liverpool supporters would like to give him before he heads off to begin a new venture in management with his old club Coventry. He's ready to come on shortly. Here's Horizon. Cross looking for Marcus Bent. Away by Carragher.
He was huge, him and Horizon. Munster. He was about 6'6", mate.
Absolutely massive. Ended up at Bolton. I think they're getting relegated.
Wasn't he, Horizon? I think he was Iceland, wasn't he? Horizon.
Yeah. I don't think they're staying up this year, lads. I think they might be going down. Even if other results go their way, I think they're relegated. 4-0, 10 minutes to go. Heskey's been quiet today. 1988.
Yeah.
Okay, it was that late, was it? Beat them 5-0. Okay, so it was much later. Okay, it was much later than that. Okay. Well, I've seen that put down as like.
Remember the school the next day after we beat them 5-0 was amusing, just all talking about it.
Clough was still there at that stage.
How completely we just dismantled them was the topic of the day, like in the playground and in the school and in the classroom.
Because they were.
Comes Gary.
Yeah, Gary Mack.
That's probably my favourite Liverpool season ever, 87, 88. And we should have won the double, mate. We should have won the double. And that team would have won the European Cup as well, methinks. But we weren't in it, sadly. We were banned. But anyways, that was my favourite season probably ever. When Barnes and Beardsley first arrived. Barnes, Beardsley, Houghton arrived. They're Aldridge, all 4 of them. And we were just such a good start to watch with Whelan, McMahon and Spackman in the middle. We had Hansen, Lawrenson, Gillespie. Lawrenson's career ended in 88 though, like with that Achilles, and that really did kill us not having him. Because we only had Hansen left, and Hansen was like really old, getting old at that point, though he was still brilliant. Gillespie and him wasn't as solid a partnership as Lawrenson and him.
No, Gary Gillespie.
Side, Steve Nicol, at right back, Hanson, Lawrenson, and then who's at left back that year? We had a few different players at left back that season. Gary Ablett played a bit.
Rob Jones would have played a bit of left back. No, not that early. He wouldn't have actually.
No, we didn't
Wow.
have
Calafiori own goal.
Gordon,
I saw that.
Is
I
he
just
playing
saw
for
that.
Italy
Yeah.
tonight? Is he?
Burrows,
Is he playing for Italy? Is he?
Venus.
Is he
Most
actually
likely.
starting for Italy tonight?
Yeah, most likely. Let me double check. Here.
Oh, okay. Oh, so he. Oh,
Yep.
I didn't
They're
realize.
still up.
I mean, I knew I hadn't heard of him, but I didn't realize I hadn't heard of him to the extent that he was actually in the Italy squad. That's poor. That's poor on my part. Oh.
Yeah, 1-0. It's 1-0 in the Spain game, and
That's
just
going
as
on
you
a
said,
while now. That's
Who was Spain playing?
Italy.
All right.
own goal in the 59th minute. We're in the 59th minute.
Who scored the own goal?
Well, Calafiori. That's the
Calafiori.
Yeah.
Yep.
Someone just put in the chat there.
Norm.
I thought they were joking. I didn't. That's what I was saying. I didn't even realize.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, we're talking about Calafiori, and he just. Oof. That was. Ooh.
I said in the first
That
half,
was not what you want to see happening.
David Marshall.
And that was another fantastic run. He put defenders under constant pressure.
There we go. The man we should have signed. The one mistake he made. The one mistake. Oh man, I remember Anelka's first or second game in the January that we signed him, because we only brought him in that January, and instantly looked like the best player on the pitch. Instantly looked, his first touch, his pass and his technique. How we never signed that kid. That's one of Julier's biggest ever mistakes. He turned down a chance to sign him, and instead brings in El Hadj Diouf. No, I'm not saying Anelka was not trouble or wasn't was a guaranteed success or anything, but one of the best footballers in the Premier League year. It never gets talked about how good Anelka was. Absolutely unbelievable footballer.
And he was good when he played for us. We were in good, we were a good side then, and he played good. He was equally as good with Heskey or Owen, really. He could play together.
You can tell me, Lee, what the talk was on Merseyside, but from what I can see, Houle brought him in and almost instantly fell out with him. That's what I can see.
Yeah, he's one of them, Nick, to get on with, wasn't he, for managers? He was a sulker. He's like Cantona, they call him Le Brat and Le Sulk and all that crap.
Le Sulk, that was Le Sulk.
Le Sulk. But but he was loved by the fans anyway, we were happy to have him.
He was brilliant. Unbelievable.
I was amazed up when we got him on loan. I had one of those footballing mind orgasms, like where where you're so excited, you just like your mind just has an orgasm, like
Him with Litman, and that's the stuff dreams are made of. Yari Litman and at his best, with Anelka at his best. Sliding doors moments.
I'm not even gonna say that one, High Lord. I'm not even gonna say that one. No, you can. They want to read it and try to answer that one. That's on them.
What? Put it up. I can't see it. What did he say? What did Highlord say?
I don't even want to put it up, actually.
No, I won't read it out. Put it up. I won't read it out. I'll just read it in my head. I don't know, but I'm interested. So,
what is spotted blank anyway?
They've got 4 strikers that can score goals. The 2 Bents.
Is it edible or like haggis?
Yeah, it's like a dessert.
Like sponge
with raisins in it.
Yeah, sponge with raisins in it.
It's like like those twisty, like Arctic Rose, and it's like a sponge that's twisted around, and they put raisins in it. So yeah, I think We don't have it in Ireland because we're not weird.
No,
but
I've
they
never
have it
had
in
it
England.
myself. I live in England and I've
Yeah.
never had it, mate. I think it's for posh people or something. Whatever
It's,
it is.
yeah, it comes from that era when rationing was big, so things like raisins were considered sweets.
Oh, here we
Yeah.
go. Here we go. Here
Look
we
at that.
go.
Look at it. I mean, look at the technique. I mean, just look at the
That
skill. Do you
quickly.
think Juve could have done that?
That quick. I don't
That's the
understand
player
why
we
he let
could
him
have had.
go. I don't understand. I mean, like,
Julia let him.
understand why.
Julia. Yeah. Oh, I never.
I know Juve was crap. He has a good
Look at it.
debut. He scored
1,
2 on his debut.
2.
I like Juve, but he was crap.
And who plays the ball? Michael Owen. Michael Owen was just a striker.
Michael
Get
Him
that
and Owen
ball.
was a deadly partnership, and they gelled as well. Him and Owen, they
Drops
worked
the
together
keeper.
well.
Of course they gelled. They were world class, the two of them. We could have had that, Lee. We could have
I
had that.
know, mate. I know it's a sickener, innit? That he bought the youth off the back of the 2002 World Cup performance.
Well, not really. The facts on that one, the deal was agreed before the World Cup.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, the deal was
Who did
agreed
he
before
play
the
for
World
in
Cup.
France?
Senegal. We bought Salif Diao. Remember we bought him as well?
Yeah.
We were talking about the other night. You were saying, you remember you signed him from Sudan?
Yeah. Who was the youth off? Lons,
yeah. But apparently we had Diao already lined up. So it was a bit of a it's a bit of a myth that we signed him because they played well in the World Cup. Like, he didn't sign Anelka because he was signing Jews. So, you know.
He beat France, didn't he? France were the defending champions in 2002.
Juve was brilliant in that World Cup. Juve, that's the thing. That's why it makes sense to people, because Juve was brilliant in that World Cup. But he was just utterly shocking.
Said Salif Diao would be his Vieira.
Sure, Bruno Shearer was the next Zidane. Oh, no, man. No. He absolutely was not the next Zidane. I mean, probably the opposite of the next Zidane. But anyway, that's not his fault. He didn't call himself that.
Just be glad of the final whistle to end the agony. For many of their players, it'll be the first time they've experienced relegation. Fans of
coming up on the 90th minute of this game, 5-0.
7 years ago. They enjoyed the day out at
in 25 years.
Remember
He'll be back again.
The glory of promotion. The glory of promotion.
No, they won the UEFA Cup hard to win, mate, years ago.
They did. They won it under Bobby Robson.
Yeah.
Bobby Robson had a good.
AZ Alkmaar of Holland. AZ Alkmaar.
Yeah, that was 1981-82, I think. That was a proper team. The Bobby Robson Ipswich team. Yeah. So they do have history, Ipswich. They're not
in
like
those days,
team.
the UEFA Cup consisted of the teams who finished second, third, and fourth in all the leagues. Yeah. You know what I mean? And
top fucking
champions
sides,
in the European Cup.
Oh, top sides. Now they'd all be in the Champions League. So, they are a club that does have trophies, history. Yeah, they're not a fucking Bournemouth.
Yeah. Bournemouth. Bournemouth. Yeah, they had a lot of good players then, Ipswich. Like, I can remember most of them from that side. I can remember most of that 11 from that side, because we played them often enough and they were a big rival. That was before, like, I understood the footy properly, though. I was still too small at that period to understand the nuances of football properly.
I just want to watch Anelka games now.
Relegated from the top division after 2 years.
Yeah, that was.
They
ended up. They already knew that they were going to get relegated. At that point, they weren't playing for really much of anything. At that moment, too, we were that solidified us in second place, actually, that year in 2002.
Yeah, I think at the beginning of it, I think your man said they weren't guaranteed. I think, like, if they had won, obviously, and other results had gone their way, they might have stayed up, but I think it was like a huge miracle. They were looking, but I don't think they were
Sorry, I don't.
officially
Were you
relegated.
allowed to smoke?
No.
Were you allowed to smoke at Anfield? By the way, you allowed to smoke cigarettes at Anfield?
Yeah, I used to.
Outdoor,
I know.
right?
Well, yeah.
Outdoor,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, when was it? When did they stop? When did they stop allowing you to be able to smoke cigarettes?
Bloody Nazis.
Probably about 10, 12 years. Like actually outside. Like the stadium is technically outside on the stand, so probably 20.
Yeah,
what,
but you're still not allowed
2000,
to.
Yeah.
Probably
I
10,
didn't just
15 maybe years.
Cigarettes at Anfield. I'd smoke my old spliffs sometimes, like when I was a teenager. I was a cheeky bastard like that, you know what I mean? I built up in pubs and at the match. I wasn't asked. Well,
But
I'd already built them like before the match, you know what I mean?
I'd probably say the smoking ban came like stadium wide, maybe 2012, 14, that kind of era, 15, that kind of era.
Yeah, because they were just showing.
Still,
I know they
technically,
took
it's
down
outside.
they took down the feed, but there was a guy with like a cigarette, like hanging out his mouth. And he's like trying to clap.
Well,
he's like, and all this smoke's going everywhere, and just. And I was like, wow.
I saw that Chelsea manager smoking on his bench not long ago. Who was that one?
Oh yeah, Sarri used to smoke a lot.
A lot of players used to smoke, didn't they? Like Johan Cruyff, Duncan
Cruyff
Evans.
is a big. That's what killed Cruyff.
Duncan,
like Cruyff died of lung cancer.
Oh, yeah. A lot of them used to smoke, didn't they, at half time and shit, like, which I find them hilarious. Like,
there was, who was I watching the other day? Oh, I can't remember, but yeah, like really, like, or like late 90s.
Everton
Fabio Capello busting out the fags.
Can't remember his second name. Duncan. He was always having a sticky. He was good as well. He was a sticky winger for Everton. This bloke with like blonde hair, but not dead blonde. It was like browny blonde or some shit. And he was always smoking like when you see him, mate. It does seem weird, doesn't it? Footballers smoking, say that out loud now. It sounds weird, doesn't it? Like to imagine footballers smoking, but yeah, they didn't give a shit years ago. Footballers, mate. They were like, no, I'm having a ciggy. I like them. I'm having one.
Apparently didn't. Yeah. It apparently didn't. But it was a different era. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, some footballers today don't even like much less smoke. Some don't even drink. You know.
We don't have beer on shirts no more, do we? That's not allowed no more, is it? Beer mates, or is that gone or not?
Well, that's long gone. That's long gone.
Yeah, Everton had Chang beer from China recently. We had Carl's
beer.
The
next, like the first to go was tobacco in all, like, you know, on all sports, like especially F1 and stuff. So that's got nationwide. Then you got the beer ones, and the next one is the betting companies.
Mate, that
but the next one is but the next one is the betting companies. So they banned basically how it's after going so far. Is they banned the first thing they banned was tobacco, then alcohol sponsorship. And now
do you really think a teenager's going to start drinking because it says Carlsberg on a football shirt? It's a bloody sponsor in the same way that I wouldn't go out and bank with Standard Chartered. You know, I wasn't going to go out and do that just because it was on our kit. It means something totally different to me. That like it's not.
No, it's a look. They can get as much money from any of these people as it, but they're banned it anyway. So the betting ones are the next one to go. That's why they've only got one more year left on their betting company. Like all the clubs now, they're sponsored by like these random gambling people. They're all. This is their last year of that.
Oh yeah, there's been loads of them random gambling ones.
Oh, they're all Chinese ones.
Yeah.
Most of the ones that you see in the Premier League over the last 4 or 5 years, if you're to look at Premier League jerseys over the last 4 or 5 years, especially those from say the top 7 or 8 clubs down, you'll see a lot of basically Chinese writing on shirts. And what the majority of those are, which kind of weird, it's kind of crazy, but they are Chinese gambling sites
Yeah,
They are
Chinese love their bet, don't they?
Yeah, well, they do, but the problem is they are official sites. These are ads for sites, right? That are Chinese gambling sites. But gambling is illegal in China. It's banned. You're not allowed to gamble.
Did you? Yeah,
So those, sorry, but those sponsorships are actually illegal websites. Like nobody in England uses them, nobody in America uses them, nobody in Europe uses them.
Didn't know that, Brian.
They're not illegal in Europe, right? There's nothing illegal about them as companies. They're Chinese companies, they're gambling, but it's illegal to gamble in China. So basically, that would be the equivalent of, just say the Chinese league was the biggest league in the world, and all of the top 20 clubs or 10 clubs were sponsored by illegal streaming sites that allowed you to watch Chinese football in Europe. Like all those Chinese sites that you've seen on West Brom and Newcastle and Everton, they're all basically illegal gambling sites that the Premier League have been advertising for the last 10 years in China. It's mental. It's stupid. But people just see Chinese writing. They don't know what it is, so they just move on. Whereas Chinese people, they're like, oh, that's like illegalgambling.com is what you're looking at. That's literally what they're advertising in the Premier League, the biggest league in the world. Cool. Apparently that's fine. It just shows you, man, if you don't know what's going on, like you think this is corrupt and that's corrupt. They've literally been advertising illegal gaming sites for 10 years in the biggest and bestest league in the world on Sky every Sunday. Okay. But they can tell us what to do. They can tell us, oh, you can't have a game at 3 o'clock because you'll misbehave.
Yeah. Okay. This purification of football's soul seems to be going well, and it's gathering pace.
Definitely, it's working.
No stiggies anywhere near us. None of that terrible stuff.
They fixed it. The game's good.
All they need to do is fix FFP now.
There's a comment for you, Brian.
Who's coming for me? Chinese? Are the Chinese coming for me? Are they?
Here's a comment for you.
Okay. I have a 10-year-old Bushmill who is now really empty. Can you recommend something better? Or am I at the peak? I'm not a whiskey guy, Haylor. Never have been. Not a whiskey man. The Ishkabaha, the
Brian is a
the Firewater. Never been a whiskey guy. No. Bushmills is a fine place to start and end, but these days, man, when you start talking about whiskies, you're talking about hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these things. But if you stick with a good 12-year-old Irish, you can't really go wrong. So if you like that, replace it. But yeah, if you want to talk about whiskey, I'm not your man. I really am not, because that stuff used to be pretty straightforward. Now it's like the IPA world. You have to be an aficionado on this and that. But yeah, you can't go wrong with a good 12-year-old. Oh Jesus, sorry. Yeah, no, whiskey. You can't go wrong with a good 12-year-old whiskey. Sorry. Yes, sorry. Yeah.
I used to be a spirits man, and that I really like.
Do not clip that up. To stick with the Bushmills, man. Stick with the Bushmills. And don't buy that Conor McGregor nonsense. It's made by.
You got a whiskey, Aussie, yeah.
Proper 12. Yeah, it's made him more money than his boxing has. He's made this. It's not him making it. It's there's only about 4 companies in the world that actually make whiskey. You know, these other people, they make it for everybody else and they stick their own label on it. McGregor's is made, I believe, by it's not made by Bushmills. It's made by a smaller. I think it's made by Jemison, I think. No, that's wrong. It isn't, but it's made by one of the bigger, and he just sticks a label on it and calls it Conor McGregor's proper 12th whiskey.
I've always been.
It's made him hundreds of millions. It's just made in some mass brewery somewhere. It's just they changed the thing slightly, stick his label on it, and now he's made a big, huge company out of it and sells shares. He's got nothing to eat. He wouldn't know how to make whiskey if he had to do it to save his life. but he's made more money out of that than he's ever made out of MMA.
I've always been a brandy man myself, like,
Oh,
no, we'll
fine.
drink. Well, I have drank whiskey, but I've always been a brandy man as a preference over whiskey.
The finer things.
I don't know how into I do like whiskey a lot. Whiskey's my preferred drink. I definitely have done a lot of different Jameson. I've done definitely done some Jameson events, and definitely like it's a pretty interesting. They do this big event here, and they show you the insides, like the inside workings of like the barrels and how they craft the Jameson. It's very interesting. You know, just the barrels alone is a very influential part of like how the process is made, and the distinction between like what the actual whiskey is and what it isn't. But if you do try an American whiskey or even a bourbon, I would suggest try. There is an actual Jack Daniels that they do a Frank Sinatra Jack Daniels, and that is like that is an excellent, absolute excellent whiskey. There's two ones that you'll come across, not necessarily come across, because the second one's very difficult to come across. One is called like the Century. It's like the Century. It's like an aged Frank Sinatra aged whiskey. That's like, but that one costs like $3,000 or something like that. It's
I've
ridiculous.
always preferred spirits with a bit of water. I don't have like Coca-Cola or lemonade and no shit like spirits. I'll have water with it. I mix it with water, spirits, so you can taste it properly. The
most expensive drink I ever bought for somebody was I bought like I got my brother-in-law is like a whiskey guy and all that, but he's sort of one of those kind of people with like expensive tastes, and he's got loads of stuff and all that. So I tried to get him something he'd never had, and I bought like a bottle of Armagnac a couple of years ago. Armagnac. It's like you like brandy, right? So Armagnac is like really posh, expensive brandy, basically, and if you just drink it neat straight out of the bottle, well, I don't mean straight out of the bottle, but in a glass, it tastes like fucking pure alcohol, man. Like, I mean, you gotta build up a taste. So for the average guy, like that stuff, I think it was like 120 quid for the bottle of it. Like. But yeah, I'm sure if you're an Armagnac drinker, it's great and all that. But yeah, spirits for me, like
I just add a bit of water with my spirits, like not too much. Just a bit to water it down.
If you're going to drink, I'm like you. I rarely drink spirits, but if I drink them, I'm going to drink them with a mixer. So why the hell would you buy like a really expensive spirit and then just pour Coke into it or pour something else into it? So as long as it's basically, normal standard whiskey or vodka, if you're putting Coke in it or whatever you're putting in, but whatever you're putting into it, if you're going to mix it with something, then why would you bother buying?
I never enjoyed
the super
cola,
expensive.
Any type of cola as a drink, whether it be Pepsi or Coca-Cola. I was never into cola as a drink. I prefer like fruitier taste and like say like zingy ones like Sprite or something. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah, you're not a Coke man, no?
Nah. Give me Sprite or bloody something like that any day.
No, I mean Coca-Cola. No, literally, just. No. I don't mean that. I just went like 2 hours ago because there's a shop down the road from me where you can still buy.
I'm not a Jack and Coke. I like Jack and Coke. I get you. I like Jack and Coke.
I just had Coca-Cola. I just had a bottle of Coke with my dinner. Glass bottle of Coke, which is very hard to get.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Glass bottle of Coke.
They make a difference too. Whether it's
they make a
bottle,
huge difference. It's a different drink. And there's a shop down the end of my road, which is like one of these last like mom and pop, you'd call them, like not a chain store, just owned by the people that own the building. And they're one of the few places in Waterford that would actually sell glass bottles of Coke. And I buy them because one of my friends that calls over every now and again, he doesn't drink alcohol. He doesn't drink, but he loves Coke. So we have like they're there for him. But because of that, they're always there's always glass bottles in the fridge for like 6 months. So a glass bottle of Coke that's been in the fridge for 6 months is a very different experience to a can of Coke.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's as good as it gets.
Absolutely.
That is as on a hot day. That's as good as it gets, man. It's as good as it gets.
Especially if you can get one of the tall neck ones.
Oh, exactly. Yep. You know what you're talking about. You know what you're talking about, man. You know how good that stuff is.
There's those things actually. If you ever come across Coca-Cola memorabilia like that, hoop it up. By the way, that stuff sells very well. Like I said, there are a lot of collectors out there that collect those kinds of things, like whether it's like the decals or just certain types of like the Coca-Cola coolers. Even they're very expensive. Like I don't know if you ever see that. There's a show over here. What's the name of it? It's called I'm gonna go blank on the name now. The Pickers show. Where they go and they like, you know what I'm talking about?
American Pickers.
Well,
American Pickers.
Sometimes I watch them then, and you'll see stuff like what you just described on them shows. Coca-Cola memorabilia and that, like. And people are all over it. People can't get enough of it, can they?
Even Pepsi too. Pepsi's very
those people are weird, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, I like the sign. That's cool, but it's not this. It's a very odd. And now they make them like the sugar-free version. Just drink something else. If you Coke
see if you can find a new Coca-Cola bottle. That'd be interesting. Or maybe even like I know
Pepsi this is
Clear?
controversial.
Pepsi Clear, remember those? Do you remember Pepsi Clear? I think it was Pepsi Clear.
Not quite, but I know this is controversial, right? But
no, you don't remember Pepsi Clear? Oh wow.
I remember what it is, but we didn't really get it.
Pepsi Clear was like Zima. It was like Zima. I don't know if you remember. You remember Zima, I'm sure. But Zima's alcohol.
Would you say cola is sweeter than normal lemonade? Just like, normal lemonade. Would you say cola is a sweeter drink? I know they're both sugary drinks. Would you say cola tastes sweeter?
Yeah, it does.
It's the sweetness of any cola that I can't take. It's too sweet for me.
It's a lot thicker. That's why you need it cold. That's why the coldness of it is important. Yeah, warm.
I'll agree with that.
Like warm, if you have like warm room
like
temperature,
room temperature, it's.
Oh, that's sticky. That is some. That's a sticky drink.
It does.
Yeah, you need the proper temperature of it to be able to taste it. But if it's too cold, you can't taste it. If it's too warm, it's like syrupy. So you got to get it like all drinks. You got to get it right in the middle. But the worst, I don't know if anybody. Look, I love cherry Coke. I freaking love cherry Coke.
There you go.
Me, that is peak.
Yeah, that's
you can't beat cherry. Oh man, that's so good. Yeah. It's so good. I love it. And lots of people are like, that's the worst drink ever. Like, I don't.
I've always loved cherry.
I love it. It's the best.
I love cherry. Cherry pie, cherry pie, cherry aid, cherry long ices, cherry cream.
Yeah.
Give me cherry and I'm there, mate.
Cherry Coke, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Full sugar, 80s style. None of this new vegan crap. None of that stuff. Give it to me. I like
vanilla Coke. I like vanilla Coca-Cola. I don't know.
Yeah, I've had it. I've definitely we got it for a while.
But I remember my grandmother back in the day. My grandmother would like, she would make whenever she knew I liked vanilla Coke, so she was like, oh, you don't have to go out to the store and buy that. She'd get like the vanilla extract and just take the Coca-Cola and put it together.
Typical grandma. Yeah. I put my own vanilla in that shit. Yeah. I put my own vanilla in that shit.
In that way, your grandmother in that way, like to get you your favourite sweets and bits and bobs, like in that. Like when you were a child, mainly, my nan's cooking was lovely. She made lovely homemade apple and cherry pies and any type of cake and that blancmanges. She was a good cook,
Yeah. Good old grandma. That's funny
I
stuff.
actually preferred home-baked sweets, you know, the ones that you buy, that you like when she made her own pastry and filling. I preferred that to the ones that you'll buy, like, you know, from a shop that were already made. I preferred my nan's pastry and that to the ones that you bought already made.
Can't beat homemade, man. Can't beat it.
No, you can't beat homemade. You can't. But I remember that Eddie Murphy's got a movie. Eddie Murphy's got a movie coming out. He's got Beverly Hills Cop 2 coming out. Or Beverly Hills Cop, another Beverly Hills Cop movie coming out. And I just remember in one of his stand-ups, he was talking about he's like, I want McDonald's. He's going on about McDonald's. And then like his mom was like, I'll make you a McDonald's burger. He's like, that's not a McDonald's burger. It was like a big meatball in the middle. Also like Wonder Bread, and it was like all like it was all like like the blood stain in the bottom of it,
I like that bit where he said when the ice cream van comes around, and he was like, and then you got an ice cream, and then he said you're laughing at the kids who had no ice cream. You got no ice cream. You got no ice cream. You're on the well.
Yeah, it's that one. Yeah.
That's how kids are, mate. I remember
that one was a great.
As a kid, yeah, that's a big deal getting an ice cream, like, and you thought you were cock of the walk when you got an ice cream.
Was it his joke? I don't know if it his joke or someone else's joke was. I've forgotten who it is, but they obviously it isn't true. But they made this joke that like when they were growing up, their parents told them that he played that the ice cream truck played the siren, played the chimes when he was out of ice cream.
Say that again?
Yeah, no. So the parents told him like that, whenever he was playing the chimes, the music or whatever you want to call it, the music the ice cream truck plays. He said, whenever they play that means they don't have any ice cream left. Like that means they're out of ice cream, so there's no need to go up to them. He's like, oh, the ice cream guy's here. Yeah, but he's playing the music. That means.
Oh, that's funny.
Left. Yeah. It's like,
that's
funny. No, yeah. It's so fucked up. Like, it's like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, sexual chocolate. Yeah. Sexual chocolate. Yeah, Norm. Yeah, Coming to America. Sexual chocolate. That was funny.
Great movie.
Great movie. Yeah, he was just talking about Beverly Hills Cop. He was talking about Beverly Hills Cop. I saw an interview with him. Beverly Hills Cop was the number one movie, at least in America, for 14 weeks. 14 weeks it stayed at number one. That's an incredible accomplishment in itself. I mean, that's 3 months at being number one. Usually by week 2, week 3, pretty much everyone that's going to probably go see it has already seen it. But that means that probably people are not only seeing it once, but they probably went back to see it a second time. But there was something else he said though. It was very interesting. He said Beverly Hills Cop at that time in that era, there were action films and there were comedy films, but there weren't really action comedy films. And he's like, that was like one of the first films to have serious action in that, like, you had serious bad guys that dealt with like real action. And then you had comedy sections of the film too that mixed in with the action and comedy. It was a really interesting. I never really recognized that. But
perfect, isn't it? There's a perfect blend in Beverly Hills Cop, and it's a great soundtrack. I used to have the director.
Well, that's on the
soundtrack on all the time on my Walkman. Patti LaBelle, Tear It Up, and Pointer Sisters, Neutron Dance, The Heat Is On, Glenn Fry.
The Heat Is On.
Neutron
Glenn Fry from the Eagles, probably written the most 80s. I think The Heat Is On is probably potentially the most 80s song of all time.
I do love The Heat Is On. But but
if you're just talking about like a song that's like a song that epitomizes 80s, The Heat Is On has to be up there because it has an extended sax solo, and all the best 80s songs had extended an extended
I put
sax
Dire
solo.
Straits probably up there too.
Yeah, it's top 5. Like it's top 5. But he's exactly right, and I'm really struggling. It's the guy's brother. That directed
Axel Foley.
frickin' that directed Beverly Hills Cop. I'm struggling. I know.
Yeah.
But the guy who directed Beverly Hills Cop.
Who I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know who directed. I can
it's
look
your
up.
man's.
Look it
It's
up.
the brother. It's your man's brother, isn't it? Oh, it's fucking annoying me now because it's the guy. I know it's the guy. It's the guy. As soon as you say it, I'm going, yeah, of course it's that guy. But yeah, no, he's right. It's the idea of the action and the comedy without it being clunky was really new, and he was,
Martin
and that
Brest?
was down to, it was down to the direction of it, where it's like it could have been really, oh, here's a comedy bit, and here's an action bit, and obviously it's down to Eddie Murphy being able to do both. But it was a really like they hit gold. There, they really did. Like that was like
Eddie made you believe that Axel Foley could handle himself. Like
exactly.
He's angled
Nobody else does it.
Axel, like
like if Chris Rock tries to do that, today, if any of those other boys try to do it today, they'll either pull off the action bit or they'll pull off the comedy bit. They won't be able to pull off both.
Right.
Eddie was never went on to be an action star.
Oh, you're thinking of Beverly Hills Cop 2, maybe. Maybe you're thinking of Beverly Hills Cop 2, by the way. Sorry to interrupt. I was going to say Tony Scott. Tony Scott directed Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Ridley Scott. Yeah. Tony Scott did too. Yeah.
As you said, because I was like, Martin Brest. I don't know of anything that he's done.
No. I know. Yeah, it is. Yeah, no. Tony Scott did too.
Tony Scott. Yeah.
Oh, it's Beverly Hills Cop 2. Chris Rock.
And 2 was okay. 2 was okay.
Big truck, innit? Chris Rock's like, what do I get for this? When he sees this guy saying how much he gets for parking a car.
Yeah. He plays the young hoodlum kind of thing. But it's like in 1, like the thing, like the best part about 1 is his fucking his chief back in Detroit, who was trying to bring him back the whole time, was playing himself. He was a police chief. He's one of the best characters
you gotta watch
in that movie.
With that guy.
Yeah, and he's been
in that movie.
Yes,
he's not one of the best characters in life. But
no, he's been sentenced. Yeah, he's been sentenced to prison. So, like, he is, like, he's a horrible criminal person. But he was playing himself.
Exactly.
And everyone who saw that movie was like, who the hell is that guy? That's like one of the funniest performances I've ever seen. How could you like, wow, he's amazing as that guy.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
He kind of made his way. He's kind of like the
real person.
Yeah, he's kind of like the drill. He's like the drill sergeant in Full Metal Jacket. Like that guy became like in Full Metal. You know what I'm talking about?
Role. A completely
iconic role. But I mean, he became the ideal drill sergeant from in so many different kinds. Yeah.
Ron Elray or whatever they call that guy.
Arlie Ermy.
Army or whatever his name is.
It's Arlie Ermy. I think it's
Arlie. Yeah, it's Arlie Army. Yeah, Arlie Army, the guy that was in Full Metal Jacket. Yeah. But that guy, it turned out in the end, he got like sent to prison and stuff for like being like a massively corrupt cop. The guy that played Eddie Murphy's boss he was playing himself. One of the guys in The Wire is based on him. Like one of the guys in The Wire is completely based on that guy. He's just this massively corrupt who, became a star for being in Beverly Hills Cop. And everyone's like, wow, what an amazing character actor. It's like, no, he's just literally playing himself. He was so unhinged, like he was hilarious. But it turns out
who was that other guy who was in the one who actually was asking to do him favors? I think he's a Jewish actor. And he was like Paul
Judge
Rice.
Reinhardt. Judge Reinhardt.
No, Judge Reinhardt was Billy, wasn't he? I mean the one who's called Jeffrey, and he was the one who sneaked into Todd's office to take the phone call.
Yeah. I don't know.
Paul Reiser, is it? Paul Reiser?
I don't know.
Something like that. Anyway, he was funny in it anyway.
Paul Reiser, yes, in Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
Paul Reiser was in Beverly Hills Cop. Yeah.
Yeah, he was funny in that. Jeffrey.
You know what's funny is that there was one of the screenwriters for that movie. So it was a woman screenwriter. She used a pseudonym for her. Like she used a pseudonym on there. She didn't want to put her name to that movie because she thought like, oh, this is like a stupid movie. It's like action, it's comedy. It's not, she didn't want to. She just thought she was just like, she didn't think it was going to be a big hit. So she put a pseudonym on there as her name for the credits, and it's one of those things where it's like, that was a pretty poor choice.
Well, I'm sure. I hope she still got paid for it.
I'm sure. Yeah, she still gets paid. Yeah, she still gets paid, but still.
Well, back then you were probably more likely to get a script done if you thought it was written by a man. So there's also that. 80s Hollywood, like, if you would have think that was a woman.
Yeah.
It's it, but that scene with him and Serge, I can't remember his name, that is the Belgian actor, the French guy. That is one of the funniest scenes of all time. If you try to make that now, you would be instantly cancelled. You would be like that's. Yeah, when he walks into the art gallery with your man Serge, he's like, get the fuck out of here. He's like, no, I cannot. It's so funny, but they're both playing it. But if you try to do that now, no, you could not, because that's some kind of close to the edge stuff, But that scene is so funny. That's one of the reasons that movie.
That was the bit that stood out to me when I first seen it when I was 11.
It's so funny because he does. It gives Eddie Murphy a reason to play his, let's just say, street hustler character in response to that guy, which he was doing for years in Raw and all the stand-up stuff. So he was kind of Eddie Murphy was kind of bringing out the greatest hits in that movie to a degree, his kind of comedy, but the way they melded it into not making it look like a Eddie Murphy vehicle where he's just doing his best comedy bits, and it actually worked. That's what made it so good. Like, you could watch that movie tomorrow and you'd be like, okay, yeah, that you couldn't do that today, or you couldn't write that scene today. But it's not something that you're going, oh my God, I'm so offended. It's just, it was the 80s. Yeah, cool. Like, people just said stuff like it was the 80s. They weren't like being whatever about it, but yeah, Eddie was. I wanted to edgy.
Yeah, definitely edgy. I was gonna say, rest in peace. I saw that in the chat here. Apparently, Donald Sutherland has just passed away. Rest in peace, and condolences go to his family. Donald Sutherland was a great actor. Played some iconic movies, MASH. He was in Animal House, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Forsaken,
Don't Look
Hunger
Now,
Games.
Don't Look Now is a masterpiece.
Don't Look Now, yeah.
He was in the video for Kate Bush and Cloud Busting.
Yeah.
Kelly's Heroes. I don't know if you remember that one. That was an old school one.
It's a huge movie.
I love that song, Cloud Busting by Kate Bush.
He was in. Yeah, he was in a lot of the best, that classic era of 70s World War II movies. He was in a lot of them, and he was really good in them. And he kept going. Yeah, and then he turned into the ultimate white hair, white beard, deep voice grandpa character. He did everything, really, didn't he? He was like,
He played good guys or bad guys, couldn't he, Donald Sutherland?
He did it all. Back in the day, he's one of those guys who had to make it hard. Like, he had to do, he'll be one of those guys like Christopher Walken. Oh, these older,
he made
tap dancing and
older, I thought
variety stuff.
Yeah, when Sutherland got older and his hair was shorter, it's just something about his eyes made him a good villain. He could do good villain eyes. Like,
Oh, great bad guy. Great bad guy, yeah.
A really nasty man inside his mind and that, like.
He probably made loads of, like, I don't know, Netflix type things where he just played random, you know, evil bad guy. You know, he definitely made, like, loads of that stuff. But, yeah, he made some great 70s movies. Really did.
Yeah. Well, no one lives forever. He gave us some pleasure while he was here, so we'll remember him, won't we, for that?
Well, great innings. You know, most people don't get anything close to that. Like, so.
Yeah. But yes, sad news. But you're right. Great actor. I guess Highlander. Highlander was another. He wasn't in Highlander, but let's remember he said live forever type thing. That was Highlander for sure. But yes, we aren't going to be doing a watch along for the Argentina for the kickoff of Copa. I didn't have anything necessarily planned for it, at least. I was thinking about it, but because McAllister is involved, but it's such a late kickoff. The other games are a little bit easier to do, like as in some of the other games are a little bit closer to the time zone that you guys are in. So
I'll be honest with you, starting later would be better for me, I think, like, because I've been having some weird sleep patterns a bit lately, like, so starting later would be better for me. I'll be fine with that, like, I'll still be awake, put it that way.
Okay, well then that's good. That's good to know, because I wouldn't mind doing. I can always do some, you know, I guess it would be late night, you know, be the you know, after dark style broadcast for you guys over in the UK time zone, but yeah, I'd be more than willing to do something like that, because the games here are going to probably start. So the games start for me at like 5 p.m. So for today, the game starts at 5 p.m. for instance. But the other games that they have on the docket are going to be like either 12 o'clock games or even 2-3 o'clock games, something like that. 3 o'clock games. So it'll be a little bit easier to do. And 3 o'clock games would mean that it would be. You said what time did you say it was? 5. What time's the game? 1 a.m. You said. Is it start 1 a.m.?
Tonight's game is 1 a.m. So if you had a game that was starting at, what was the earliest you said there? 2?
I think some of the games are at like 3. I want to say noon. Noon is like, that's easy. That's like 8 o'clock your time. I know that. But I meant like I think it's I think it's like around 11. It'll be like 11 o'clock your time.
Yeah, I think from experience, the majority of the time, those games tend to be 11, 12, or 11 o'clock, midnight, 1 a.m. They tend to be. That sounds about right for those kind of games that are normally out. Like tonight's 1 o'clock, so any earlier games, 11 o'clock, midnight, that would be probably, like, it's not crazy. It's just about when they finish. It's just about the whole show with it. And so for me, it just be. But also, I don't know about being able to watch them where they are. But if I can jump on or do something,
I'm thinking of where you'd have to. I'm trying to think of where I could tell.
Yes.
You know what? Let me see what I know. I could see, for instance, because I think. Let me find out where that game will be on. What will actually be on for you guys?
I don't know. Like it'll be like on the I know on UEFA
like
you can watch.
Like what actual broadcast it will be.
But to watch it on the internet. But there'll probably be. If you're are you just kind of thinking about doing the
just any game that's related to
Liverpool,
anyone that's related to Liverpool is the games I'm going to follow. Obviously, one of the games I'm definitely going to do is USA versus Uruguay, because Uruguay, I believe Uruguay is in our I think they're in our group. And double check here.
I want Darwin to do well. I want Darwin to have a good Copa America, so when he comes back, he's all jacked up on that. Well, I hope so. I hope he goes as far as possible, Uruguay.
Yeah,
he has a good tournament. That should help him when he comes back.
Yeah, 3 p.m. is the earliest start for all the games. It's 3 p.m.
Yeah, Bonkers is putting it up there. They're 11, 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. Yeah, that's basically what we would be looking at in the UK. So if you were, say, JK in Germany, you'd be looking at midnight, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. So, yeah, it's it's some of them are, they're definitely like a game that's 11 p.m. here is very watchable.
Yeah, we have America has Uruguay, Panama, and Bolivia. So the USA versus Uruguay game I'm definitely going to do watch along for. And then also I'd like to do also Colombia versus Brazil watch along too, since there'll be obviously Ali and Diaz involved in that game for us. So, and then we'll see how it goes after that. But those are 2 games I definitely want to do watch alongs for. The other games, like, I guess because I'm not really. I'm not saying Canada can't get some type of a result from this game coming up, but let's be honest, like it's not going. They did well against France to hold them to a 1. I think it was 1-1 or 0-0 draw in France. By the way, Canada has Marsh as their coach, which is a big thing. It's kind of crazy too, because apparently after Canada got rid of their coach, they wanted a big name. They put in so much effort and attention in trying to get Marsh as their coach that the MLS teams chipped in money to bring Marsh in. That's how much they wanted a relevant coach to be at the helm for Canada. That the MLS teams in Canada all gave donations to Team Canada to make sure that they could bring him in. So, and here's thank you, Bonkers. By the way, that's what I was trying to look up to. By the way, big up Bonkers. Not new. This is the sports channel in the UK that it'll be on. Yeah. But what are you saying? It's not new. What's not new?
No, I just mean that's not new in the MLS or in America. When it comes to soccer and sports, like for the clubs or for people around to invest in certain things because they realize that it's for the betterment of the league.
Exactly.
It's like, can you imagine like all the Premier League teams coming together just to chip in to help England get a better?
The chip in.
Yeah. Because they realize, look, this is, it's sport in North America.
I guess it'd be interesting to see. I mean, it would be interesting to see because, like, I don't know who the ownership groups are in Canada, if they're Canadian-based ownership groups that own the Canadian teams up north. But I mean, like,
do we want to go stereotypical here? I mean, we've got some, are they all lumberyard owners and go just like who does own, like, what's we did it, remember the top 20 when we went through it the other week about the Forbes list. You were saying, it's you get all the big European teams, and then as soon as you get past the big European teams, you're
a lot of them are MLS
teams. Yeah. You're not going straight to say
You're not going to Brazil. You're
South
not going
American
to
team, or
yeah,
Saudi. Yeah, it's
right.
straight away like the
You're not going to
big
Saudi
kind of
Arabia. Yeah.
franchise
Nope.
values are. So I'm in that kind of usual system. I imagine it like the Canadian franchises of a baseball team commensurate to the American value is usually what, like 20% or something.
Mm-hmm.
So who are the
It's a lot. It's a lot
who are the
easier.
Canadian
Like
billionaires?
it's a lot
Yeah,
easier to
no,
get involved in an MLS team than it is like a. So I mean, we all know
true,
that
true.
what's going on with like, FSG trying to get an NBA team. Well, the reason why is because the NBA sports in America. There's no relegation. So if you have a franchise, that's your franchise. You're going to be a part of the league
good to go.
regardless. And and it gets to the point where a lot of those teams that are a part of the league, once they're your team, they're your team. They're your franchise. So you can say, hey, I'm going to start this franchise in, I don't know, Atlanta, and then move it to San Diego. If you wanted to.
Yeah. I mean, well, try sell that to
that's a tough sell.
Audience.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
that's a tough sell.
But it's great. It's
for a lot of people in Europe, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Oh hey, I just bought Sunderland. I'm the new Sunderland owner. Oh cool. Well hey the lads and all that. Yeah, but now we live in London.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. See ya.
See ya.
Yeah, your house is getting car bombed. Or you ain't. You're
not making it out.
That's not going down well. Yeah, that ain't going down well. Yeah,
it's not going down well at all.
It's like this is like you say. This is the golden ticket for some of these boys. That what would you call it? The kind of acceptance into the league as a new franchise, or whatever. That kind of ticket into the. Oh no, now you're an NBA team. Cha-ching, bing. Done. You went from being like a perspective you got your franchise. The LA basketball guys are now a thing. Go print your money, dude. Go print your money. Can't do that in England. Can't invent a team. You can't place it in the top league. That's that's where the disconnect is. But look, these billion-dollar franchises. I don't know. What do you think? Like, do people in America, when they look at football, do they look at the whole relegation and promotion thing in England? Go, like, do they understand it? Do they like it? Do they think, why would you do that? Do they enjoy it? Like, what do they? Is it? I mean, to the average casual fan, or
if you were to try to tell a fan, and this is why it's unique. One, the tier system is different. So, especially if it was even for football, or soccer as we call it here. But the tier system is different. So, I spoke on how I remember what was a trivia question, Drogba, and I was saying how Drogba is a part owner in the Phoenix Rising here in Arizona, for instance. But the Phoenix Rising is not in the MLS. They would like to be in MLS. They might possibly be in MLS at some point. But for right now, they're not in MLS. And if you were to tell someone, hey, I don't know, the LA Galaxy, for instance, if they have an off year that they're not going to be a part of the MLS, it might hurt. It might hurt the MLS more to have that happen than it is to have that part of, oh, well, we're going to bring in a new team to replace them, because you're taking out a market you're taking out a big market club and now replacing them with possibly I don't know, Oklahoma City or or something a smaller draw. And that's why the whole relegation, that's one of the reasons why, at least from a financial perspective, and also just when you're trying to sell the league, if I go to ESPN and I'm like, yeah, we're going to have this league, but New York, LA, hypothetically, New York and LA get relegated from the league, and you're going to be like, but now you're not going to have the two biggest markets in America, be a part of the league. That's a tough sell for why
don't they just I don't it works everywhere else, championship's big. It's just weird. I don't know what I get, it doesn't work in other sports, but in football.
Could you imagine, hypothetically, if the Lakers have had some bad years? Could you imagine if you said
not
Lakers
in basketball. No, not
in the
basketball.
NBA.
No, not
because there's lower leagues. There's the G League, for instance. The G League is
I know, but not in basketball.
For the NBA. It's like the second tier league.
No, I'm not saying I wouldn't introduce relegation into sports that have never had relegation.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine, but it's just like football. It's just you have a league and they drop down. It actually I think what people would realize is that if you had and this is the thing that actually probably won't happen, is that a big team will get relegated. It probably won't happen, but when it does happen every now and again, it actually creates a load of media. And it creates a load of stories. It creates. It's huge. Exactly. It's big stories. It's big news.
Could you imagine that now? Man United being relegated.
Oh, if you said tomorrow that okay, all of those teams that are now in the Premier League that starts as of tomorrow with Ipswich and Leicester and Southampton, right? Yeah, Ipswich, Leicester, and Southampton. That's it. That's the Premier League from now on. No one will ever get relegated and no one will ever get promoted. It would die overnight. It would be dead. It would be dead.
Right.
Everyone would stop caring. Shit. They go, okay, whatever. Yeah.
Did you notice who finished bottom of the Premier League there in that game we just watched against Ipswich that season? Leicester finished rock bottom of the 20th place.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's there's no jeopardy. There's
what's the biggest name? The biggest name in the Prem to get relegated, for instance, would be probably Leeds, probably, right?
They've all gone.
Leeds?
Since the Premier League started. Okay, yeah. The biggest, Leeds won it. Well, they didn't.
Sheffield club.
They won the league before.
They were a massive club at one point.
I think probably, but since it started, the most successful team that's been, Leeds are maybe Leicester, but Leicester are a bit of a fairy tale. But Leicester won the Premier League, and within what year was that? 18.
Leicester's league went under Ranieri.
Yeah. 2016.
14, 15, was it?
So within the space of about 8 years, they're relegated.
Yeah.
You can win in the league, and within 8 years, get promoted. Like I was saying about the Forest story.
Yeah, it's 2016. 2015, 2016 was the year.
And they've since been relegated and promoted. That's hilarious. That's brilliant. You take that out of the game, then what are the lower leagues playing for? If you can't,
I get you.
There's no need for lower leagues. Just forget it all. It just becomes
maybe
the Super League that they all wanted.
I'm just thinking some of the names like West Ham, maybe.
Yeah, West Ham. Everton nearly went down. Everton have never been out
never been relegated. Yeah, never been relegated. And
Everton should be relegated.
Yeah, they've never been relegated.
Everton are proud of that. And I'm proud of it too.
They should be proud of it. They fucking should be proud of it. If you can't be proud of that, then what can't you be proud of? If someone tells you, if someone who supports a football team, if someone who supports an actual football team turns around to you, even if it is Everton, and says, "Oh, the fact that you've never been relegated doesn't mean anything," then Jesus Christ, that's football heritage right there.
Yeah, you're
That's
talking about
football
doesn't
heritage.
matter never being relegated.
Come on, that's football heritage. Yeah, these trolls on the internet that want everything to be about banter and we did this, we did Everton this. Everton is a real football club.
I'll go into bat for Everton sometimes and mention how many times.
I'll go to bat for them. I'll go to bat for them because you know what's more important than Liverpool being more successful than everybody else? Everton and Liverpool being more successful for everybody else.
Yeah.
That means Liverpool is the biggest Liverpool football or the biggest football club in England. F Manchester, which are stupid teams. F London and all that. You bring the power base back to Liverpool like it used to be in the 80s. And that's what annoyed Thatcher and all them so much.
That's a good shout. Yeah.
That brings back the regeneration to that city.
Yeah.
Two of the biggest teams in Europe. And guess what? It didn't matter how good Everton were. We were always better than them anyway. So don't fear them. Don't worry about them. What would you rather have? The two most successful teams in England be Man City and Man United or Liverpool and Everton? I'm going for Liverpool and Everton.
I can only think of like
it was an awful time in Liverpool, like economy wise and that. There was all the factories closed and everything was shit. The rest of the country were all laughing at us. We were the butt of every fucking joke about unemployment that there ever was in that period. But we had the two best teams. At least turn around and say, get on that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was going to say the only other, the biggest club I would probably say, this isn't Premier League though, but probably the biggest name I could think of would be Juventus, maybe. Juventus being relegated. Juventus or who else has been? Can't think of anyone else off the top of my head. Juventus or Juventus. What it was 2006? I want to say they got relegated, right? 2007, 2005, 2006 year. Was it 2006, 2007?
Well, yeah, but they got relegated because of the whole, match fixing.
Yeah, because of scandal. Yeah.
Oh yeah, match fixing and calciopoly and all that.
It's a shame
for the second time.
For the second time, like that they have got such a reputation for this.
Yeah, no, they've been relegated twice. No, Milan.
Oh, you know what? Maybe, but that's not. But that was probably that was during an era when Scottish football had already kind of gone. Rangers could have gotten relegated too, right? Rangers got relegated.
Well, they were relegated because they were dissolved.
2013. 2013.
Yeah, they were dissolved. But they were dissolved. They weren't relegated. They were dissolved as a company. They were liquidated. They were. I mean, Rangers is a new club now. They have to fight to get their old titles reinstated. They were liquidated as a club due to all these people, as we were pointing out on previous videos, all these people down here that want owners to be able to come in and make all random promises and spend all this money and yada yada yada. And where do you get? You get Rangers, one of the most storied clubs in European football, being liquidated and having to fight for the right to start back in the fourth tier of Scottish football and be able to say that the trophies that they won in the past counted for that club. They were very close. Yeah. The Rangers that are playing in the Rangers that Steven Gerrard managed were winning a hair's breadth of having 0 titles. They have, them and Rangers have 1 million titles each. They are allowed to say that they have those titles. They were very, very close to being told, no, you are a new football club. Everything. Glasgow, Newco.
Protestant lines, isn't it, Brian?
That would be a massive understatement, Lee.
Yeah. For that
Glasgow
reason, I've always thought Celtic being a Catholic boy, you know what I mean? I knew that Rangers were the Protestant club and Celtic were the Catholic club, and that it means a lot there. so I thought it'd hitch me start to it hitch me wagon
Yeah.
to self, like being a Catholic.
Yeah. No, there's like those boys take it more seriously than a lot of people
Doesn't
in
mean
Ireland.
anything here, Brian. Doesn't mean anything in Liverpool whether
No.
you're Protestant or Catholic. But it does. It does. It'd be wrong to say it doesn't.
Up
But it's
there.
nowhere near that. It's nowhere near Glasgow proportions.
Oh
there.
no. Up there, it's like
Yeah.
it's like a Bloods and Crips thing, basically.
Mate, I used to go on the Orange Lodge Day parade, and I'm a Catholic. When I say I'd go on it, I wasn't on the parade, but I'd attend all the
yeah.
festivities and sit off and lark about and all that shit, like on Orange Lodge Day, even though I'm a Catholic. You know, so you can see it really doesn't mean that much to Liverpool.
We don't have that here. We don't have that in our country. We don't have Orange Lodge. We don't. No, there's no. We don't have Orange Lodge here. We drove them out. Yeah, they're up in the north, and especially like where I am is, like my house is basically on the sea, which is about as far from Northern Ireland as you can get and still be in Ireland.
Oh, right.
So it's Belfast is about as far away from me as you can get in Ireland. So
Probably
it's
close to me, isn't it? Here in Liverpool, Belfast.
Probably without a doubt, it would be. It would be. No, without a doubt, it would be. Yeah. Like I'm not saying we don't have it down here, but yeah, we don't get those orange boys walking through our towns.
Yeah, well, they were always quite belligerent. The Orange Lodge, going on about Catholics, Catholics. But I was like, shut up! What are you on about? Well, because like if I went to one of them parades, no one could see I was a Catholic, and nobody knew. Well, people could guess what you were from what school you went to sometimes, but not with me because I went to Protestant schools primarily. I got through out my Catholic one and went to Protestant ones. So if people tried to guess that way through the school, they'd be guessing wrong. So nobody knows what you are when you're just walking around, unless it's on your back or something.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's it. Unless you're printing what you,
unless you
what
walk
you
around
are on your forehead,
emblazoned on your t-shirt, or I am a Protestant on the back on your back or something. No one's going to know, are they?
Well, that's why they were. That's why we were. Well, that's why people wear colours, and.
Yeah, great era, by the way, Bernie. You got some great moments, some great moments during the '80s. If you're a Liverpool fan, whether you're a red or a blue, whichever way you went with it. It wasn't. What year was it that they wanted to do like the joint? They wanted to do like the joint celebration where they wanted to do like a Liverpool and Everton celebration together, parade together or something like that. Do you remember what year that was? Stevie Nichols talks about it. You don't remember that?
Maybe it was 89 because of Hillsborough. He wants to do some joint parade or something like that. Mind you, Everton were champions in 85 and 87. 84, 85, 86, 87. Then they were obviously FA Cup finalists in the Hillsborough year. That's who we played at Wembley. Trophy parades. I went to see Everton on the bus tour with the league, and because my mate was an Evertonian, it was something to do. We usually used to go to see Liverpool. Don't remember him coming with us though. It was all Liverpool fans to go to see Liverpool's trophy.
Yeah, it was 1986. 1986. Liverpool and Everton had a joint parade through the city.
See what I mean? I mean, if you said that to somebody, these internet troll people today. I mean, this is what life was like back in the. It's not that long ago. They call it the friendly derby for a reason. Yeah, that we could walk hand in hand through the city.
It was once the friendly derby. The fans go to the match together. They'd meet up before the match or do whatever it was they were going to do, and then they'd make their way to the match together, sit together, scout together, 4 different teams, and then go home together. Well, or home, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like accompany each other, like back to your own area. and go home to your own house. That's the way it was, but it isn't anymore now. It's very far from that now, unfortunately.
In what way and in what way, when you say it's far from that, how do you mean?
It's better. Everton fans particularly are very loathsome of Liverpool as a club. A lot of them don't like us just for being Liverpool fans. Then there's other Evertonians that aren't arsed, that it doesn't bother. So you've got a mixture, like, but yeah, there's a lot of bitterness and hatred towards Liverpool.
But what I mean is, those connections that used to hold us together, like people from Liverpool together, those familiar, like those connections as family and friends, like how is that broken down? Why is that broken down?
Well, you still have mixed families where you have
yeah, exactly. So
and
why is it? Where's the difference there? Like,
I don't know. In that situation, it seems to be all right where it's within a family, like, but like, yeah,
it's like the online shit, online.
Yeah. Because I hear some vile stuff in pubs, like just in Liverpool, walking around boozers, mate. You hear some vile stuff like out of Evertonians' mouths. But you just put up with it. Oh, I'm the type that bites back, mate. I'm never usually silent. If Evertonians start on me in a pub, they get it back, mate, in spades.
Yeah, that's what I'd like. I'm interested in. Like, I don't need to write a thesis on it, but I am interested in where, and I'm guessing the answer is the internet. But what you were talking about, where the difference between everyone just going, yeah, okay, whatever, families, friends, yeah. On the weekend, I'm a blue and you're a red, but for the rest of the week, we're family, we're friends. But on match day, but where did that kind of point twist?
Wait, I got it. I've got it.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, the European ban, the European
ban. Because Everton certainly would have won the European Cup, like, which isn't a given. You don't just win it because you're in it, but they did have a good chance. They did,
yeah. They're the best team in England, and the English,
Steaua Bucharest won it that year against Terry Venables' Barcelona on penalties.
Yeah, Steaua team was awesome, but
Then the following year, it was Porto beat Bayern Munich 2-1 in the final. Both of them.
They have a claim.
Let me see if I can share
They
this.
have a claim.
Okay. All right. Let me see if I can share this with the audience here. This is actually kind of funny. So I spoke on the 1986 parade. Now, what was unique about the parade is that Everton didn't win it. Everton didn't have a trophy to be a part of the parade. So I'll read you how it all went down. It's kind of funny.
We had 2 runners-up medals in the league and the FA Cup. Like, we were runners-up in both.
Right. Yeah. On this day, on May 11th, 1986, Liverpool and Everton had a joint parade through the city. This was agreed on before the FA Cup final, which Liverpool won the day before, beating Everton 3-1 and clinching the double. There were 3 buses scheduled for the parade. As you can see in this picture, those were the 3 buses. There was a bus. Yeah, the buses all said Merseyside on it. It said, rather than either Liverpool or Everton, it just said Merseyside.
Brilliant.
And the 3 buses scheduled for the parade through the city, blah, blah, blah. But the buses were labeled Merseyside 1, 2, and 3. Liverpool had the first 2 buses in the front to show off the first division trophy and the FA Cup, which they had just won the day before. Everton occupied the 3rd bus at the back with no trophies, and strangely enough, their bus had no toilet in it. Okay. So they had to use empty cans, according to Graham Sharp. They had to use empty cans to go to the bathroom, which is horrible. That's horrible. But Everton bus was crudely nicknamed the Loser Cruiser by some fans. Peter Reid refused to get on the bus on the day and was fined 2 weeks' wages by the club, by the way. This is like I mentioned how I said I heard the story from Stevie Nichols. Stevie Nichols was on EA. He was on the ESPN show that he's on. He was talking about it, and he said, but this is one of the quotes that he also said. He said, "We had the trophies," said Stevie. All Everton had was a few cans of ale. I couldn't believe what they made us do, Graham Sharp said, the Everton striker. It was unbelievable. Liverpool were all celebrating and were sitting there, and we were sitting there miserable. So yes, 38 years ago, or this is at least more than 38 years ago now, they had Everton had an open top bus parade through the city after winning nothing, which is very interesting. I don't know how they got them to agree to that, by the way.
Well, this is what I can tell you exactly. I mean, it may seem funny, but these things aren't. This isn't a joke, or this is this is what Frank talks about. Lee will know. This is what Frank talks about. This is about trying to take strength and every bit of what they can get to show that Liverpool isn't just the best; it's the first and the second best. Now, obviously, that's humiliating for these Everton players, but in today's age, that's trollable. That's if you did that, but that is showing the country that again, you have to look at what life was like in Liverpool in the 80s, and the fact that this would be like Baltimore in the 90s having the best NFL team and the best basketball team. It would be like having it would be like Detroit in the 80s having the best basketball team and the best football team. That's how much that mattered because they had fuck all else. Now, those people at the back, those players, yes. But that's what I'm saying when we talk about I want Liverpool to be fighting Everton and Everton to be finishing second rather than Everton to be relegated. I'd rather Man United and Man City get relegated than Everton get relegated. I want Liverpool to have the two biggest football teams in England, bar none.
That's a good point by Bernie. This is a good point. She thinks it was when Rooney went to Manchester United and Everton had a relationship with Manchester United. The Reds thought it was a betrayal.
What was when Rooney went to what happened then? I don't get the point.
That two brothers could be a red and blue or mates, and they would sit together cracking jokes. But he says when Rooney went to Manchester United and Everton had a relationship, it was almost like Everton selling, Everton helping Manchester United. That's not the thing to do. It was almost like they had struck a better relationship, or not better relationship, but with Manchester United, rather than allowing for Scouser to go on to
join Liverpool.
Yeah, join Liverpool or something like that.
Who didn't bid for him and couldn't
or even go to any other team but Manchester United, especially.
Wow, that is absolutely insane, Barney. Barney, you have outdone yourself there, honey. That is crazy.
I love you, Bernie. I'm with you, Bernie.
I love it.
I'm
so
with
the reason, okay, so I love this. Okay, now Bernie, I love it. The reason that Everton fans and Liverpool fans no longer get on is that Everton sold Wayne Rooney to Manchester United, who bid a record fee for him as an 18-year-old that Liverpool could possibly afford, didn't offer, and weren't interested in. That was the point that the fan base is split because we were so arrogant to think that they should have. So
maybe she's saying it's the final straw. Wow. Maybe that was the final straw. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's wild. But
I like that.
Put down the Prosecco, Bernie. Put down the Prosecco.
We can write a book about that, Bernie. Let's write it. We can write a book about that.
Darling.
How Rooney,
How Rooney never wanted to join Liverpool.
Mate, he was never going to join us, was he? Like,
Exactly. He wouldn't have joined us if you put an AK to his
But he
head.
could have. But
If
they
you
could have
put
sold
an
him to.
AK
They
to
could have
his
sold him to anyone else
Why?
other than Manchester United.
Why
agree
should
with
they?
that.
But nobody else bid 26 million for him. Well, you're
that's
still
it.
being.
You guys had the
You,
money,
you've
you know,
invented. You've invented a
really
reason to be butthurt about something that
wins.
happened 20 years ago.
No,
Okay.
no.
That's crazy. I didn't. This is new ground we're breaking here. This is new ground. We've
Like I
opened up
said,
new
Bernie, I'm
ground.
with you.
Wow, I've seen this is Stretch Armstrong.
It's an interesting one, like, it's an interesting one, I'll say that.
Rooney helping Manchester United. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why Rooney exists.
Especially since Manchester isn't. Man, it's just it is the fact that Manchester isn't. There's a rivalry between the cities, isn't there? There's a rivalry between Liverpool and Manchester, right?
Yeah,
I get that he's an expensive player and you're making a lot of money, but sell him to your
we didn't bid for him. We didn't bid for him.
Played Man United.
But they did, yeah. Nobody bid for him.
And I was supporting Everton, and my stepdad went, "No, don't support Everton." He said, "Support Man U. Don't want Everton to win a treble." Because the year before, we won a treble. We won the League, European Cup, and the League Cup. And Everton were going for the FA Cup, League, and European Cup Winners' Cup treble that season. But I distinctly remember my stepdad. I was like 10 then. And like my stepdad went, "No, don't support Everton. Don't want them to do the treble." And he didn't win the treble because Norman Whiteside scored. And Everton was sunk at Wembley. I think it was Norman Whiteside.
It's
won 1-0.
Right. Okay.
This is a very loose interpretation, or not or analogy, but like
so Everton are our rivals, so they should want to hurt us. Like so, it would make sense. Like Everton are our rivals, right? So if they were to invent this world that we've all invented that exists,
the sticks,
Everton are selling players,
signing for Liverpool,
and they shouldn't have done it because it was bad for Liverpool. That's a world where 12-year-old people live.
Oh, come on!
They received
That's harsh.
They received an enormous amount of money for Wayne Rooney. Rooney said,
"I want to go." So I get they did.
Yeah, no one else did. So where
have they gone since?
But we're supposed to feel
what
bad.
Did the 26 million or whatever they got?
We're supposed to hate them.
What did that amount to?
But who cares?
I mean, you don't care. But I'm just saying, if I was an Evertonian, I would care.
But no, you're not an Evertonian. But what you're annoyed about is what Bernie annoys about is about as you all know, is an insanely ridiculous scenario that we as Liverpool fans should be extra pissed off with Everton because they sold Wayne Rooney to Man United. Wow. That's insane.
I know. I got you. Trust me. Sometimes, Bernie, it's hard even when you're trying to get a word in edgewise. It can be sometimes.
No.
It's all good.
They can sell a player to anybody.
I stand with you, Bernie. I stand with you. I understand exactly what you mean.
They want.
I know exactly what you mean. This is a very loose conception of it.
Yeah,
but it's
wrong.
We have go ahead.
When Rooney signed for Man United, from Everton, I remember all the Mancs were laughing at what Rooney was wearing when he signed his contract. It was a green and black hooped sweatshirt. It was like horizontal stripes, green and black. And it didn't look that bad, but laughing at him going, "Look at the Scouser, the tramp, look at what he's wearing, the bloody tramp." Because they always call us jippos and tramps, Mancs, when they're having a go. Bin dippers. They were laughing at Rooney's clothes, and he didn't look that bad. Rooney just looked bad. Whatever. He was
why you would want to help that city in any word? I don't care if it's for any reason. Why, if you're an Everton supporter or a Liverpool supporter, why you would want to help Manchester in any way? I would not. It's very similar to, I would never want to trade any player to Boston. I don't want to trade any player to being a Philadelphia fan. I would. It's like it's.
Yeah, we understand. Let
me point.
We understand how rivalries work.
What's that?
We understand how rival.
Okay, right.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to
we
get across.
understand.
I mean, like, I'm just trying to say that if that's the mentality I would hold to. I understand, and that's why what I was gonna land was is that it's a very similar reason why when rest in peace by the way, but when Kobe Bryant would come home to Philadelphia because he was born and raised in the Philadelphia area, when he would come home to Philadelphia, he was actually booed by All-Star game was in Philadelphia. He was booed in Philadelphia. And the reason why he was booed in Philadelphia is because he turned his back on this city. He didn't want to help rise up the city. He wanted to go and be some Hollywood star and play in LA. That's not what we're about, at least in this area or in where I'm from. And that was like despite the fact that he was an incredible talent, a Rooney-esque style player in the sense of one of the greats in the sport, But even so, the city was like, nah, you turn your back on us. We have no love for you. We had to watch his freaking LA Lakers with Shaquille O'Neal play against us in our Allen Iverson-led team and watch that team beat us. No, man, bun that. That's why I can understand what Bernie was saying. Like,
but Rooney played for
not
Everton.
a part of that ever. But that's just my angle and take. We're all welcome to our opinions.
We can all talk about it. What I'm saying is like Rooney played for Everton. He didn't play for Liverpool. He was never going to win.
Bernie, when we have a call in,
he was never going to win anything. He was never going to win anything.
When the next call in goes, Bernie, I definitely am going to hold you to it. We're going to allow for you to go toe to toe with the Irishman there.
No, I just No, I'm just saying he didn't play.
Oh, you can't see her. You can't see the comments. She wrote a comment. She says,
I can't see any comments.
She's going to come on StreamYard one day and get you, Brian.
Yeah, well, look, I just think it's amazing that a Liverpool fan can take any kind of offence in the transfer of an Everton player to Manchester United. When we bought players from Everton, they sold players to Man United. The idea that it's somehow, I mean, it's taking things to heart to a whole new level. It really is. I don't give a damn what Wayne Rooney.
That's you, brother. That's you. Yeah. That's cool.
No, he doesn't play for Liverpool United, does he? Is there a Liverpool team where we all have to chime in for Liverpool? No, he went to United. He did his thing. It's very, very strange. Very strange.
Signed for Liverpool, when Kenny Dalglish signed Steve McMahon for Liverpool, the Evertonians hated it. Because he didn't mind him going to Villa, because he went to Villa when Villa was. But then when it didn't work at Villa and we snapped him up, Everton fans, he got a lot of stick on Merseyside, all over Merseyside, calling him a bastard and poor old Steve McMahon.
Yeah.
Nobody complains when we do it. Nobody complains when we take a talent from London or Germany But I think, look...
That's different.
Rooney
That's different.
Sorry. Are we actually living in some bizarro world here where?
No, we're not living in your world. Rooney, that's all.
Where Wayne Rooney.
I mean, like we just have the same opinion.
Join Man United. No. Is Wayne Rooney not supposed to join Man United because we're Liverpool fans? Is that?
No,
I don't see what you're. Because like Liverpool and Manchester have a rivalry. Like he's not a Liverpool player.
I can't wait to Bernie. I can't wait till we get I can't wait till we have that call.
I can't wait till
Bernie. We're gonna make sure even if I gotta mute Irishman's mic, so make sure you can get your words in. We're definitely gonna let you.
And I'll be gone, man.
I'm out. It's all good. It's all good. She's ready. She's ready. It's all love. And it's all opinion. It's everyone is welcome to their opinions. And it's, you know what? It's the reason why you're tuning in. is to be able to have the forum to say your opinions and to give your takes. So, but anyways, but yes, it's all good. I think his he didn't drop out. He didn't get mad. It's his internet is just went out. But we're about to end the stream anyway. So hopefully I'm gonna see if we can wait a second for him to log back in on his other phone. But Lee, is there anything that you wanted to say? Is there anything you wanted to say to the people before we bounce out?
Just thanks, everybody. Enjoyed tonight. Yeah, it was good fun. Thanks for your participation. I'll see you again.
Yeah. And I hopefully he can log back in. I'm not certain, but if not, I'll say thank you for the Irishman, and I'll also say thank you for myself for joining us today as we did the Throwback Thursday. You know, went back in time and got to see a pretty great game. Actually, it was a really good game. Saw some great goals.
Yeah, that was a great game to pick. That was a solid pick. That 12 was a really enjoyable one to look over, to see them players again and playing well. It was great to see Nick and Nelka, wasn't it? Like Owen and Heskey. When he used to play all three of them was great. He used to play Heskey on the left wing, on the left side of a 4-4-2, and play Owen and Anelka, and that was bloody deadly. That made the three of them together. Heskey, Owen and Anelka. I loved that stuff when it was happening, because we did look a monster of a team with them three up front. Like, because Heskey was good to play. He used to play that position for Leicester rather than being centre forward. He was more like coming in off the left wing for Leicester before we bought him. And Houllier just got that going again when Nicholas Anelka was here, because he had to play all three of them. You couldn't leave one out after the way Heskey and Owen had been playing together. So he just made a little bit of room in the middle for Anelka and moved Emile out left, and it was great.
I'll look for that 88 game against Forest for you, Norm. I'll certainly look for it. Yeah, it was a great. I thought it was a great game. I mean, like, some great goals. Absolutely fun game to watch. And I know it was probably it was cool to go and revisit that game for some that were actually physically there, or if not watching it on the tube when it actually went down in real life. So it was a fun time. Definitely a fun time. But tomorrow is finally Friday. Hopefully we'll all be here to enjoy that as well. It should be a fun finally Friday. I've got a fun idea. We're going to possibly be doing. I think we're going to be doing the England versus Ireland lineup, but we'll see. Maybe we can bring in we can come up with the whole South America versus Europe for the Reds as well. But yeah, it should be a good time tomorrow. Once again, I would say thank you again, and yeah. Other than that, I would say continue to take care of your health. Continue to take care of your mental health as well. It's important. Sometimes it's not easy to go through feeling like you're alone, but always recognize and realize that you're never alone. You always have someone that's making this walk with you. It does make a difference. And I would also say the final point, there's this one little thing I always like to say, and that is up the Reds. Up the Reds, people. All right, see you tomorrow.